Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Ding dong, ding a dong ding. Come on, everybody, join in. Ding dong, ding a dong ding. The party is about to begin. There's games to play and songs to sing, so let the music start to swing. Ding dong, ding a dong ding. Come on, everybody, join in. Ding dong, ding a dong ding. The party is about to begin. Oh, ding dong, ding a dong ding. Come on, everybody, join in. Ding dong, ding a dong ding. The party is about.
Trigger happy, it's Monday, good evening. Don't know why I mentioned the name of Dom Jolly's television show there. I'm on the phone! Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm on the phone!
No, it's really boring.
I've met Dom Jolly. Anyway, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. It's the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee. Katherine is in the studio.
Whoop, whoop.
Sam is there taking your phone calls. He'll take your calls. He'll call you straight back and he'll whack you on the air. And you can call in about absolutely anything. Can I just say something slightly controversial? I'm going to take that silence to be a tacit approval of it.
I'm saying nothing for the record.
So this MP, Anne-Marie Morris, she said, Brexit is like an N-word in a woodpile. A very, very old phrase. A very old phrase, okay? Very old. I probably heard my grandparents say it. I certainly know that when I was a boy, there was a shade of brown, N-brown. Here's the thing. She's an idiot for saying it, right? She's dumb for saying it. Of course she shouldn't have said it, and it implies that she's massively out of touch with the rest of the world, and it's a stupid thing to say. But. I don't... Coming from a white middle-class guy, I don't think it's the end of the world that she said it. We live in a kind of society now where she's rightfully been picked up on it. But people make mistakes. This is a mistake. It's a mistake. She used very old-fashioned language. My mum, may God bless her, still talks about the pea shop, the Pakistani shop. She'll still say that. And I tell her off and I have a go.
Yeah, but she's not in a position of authority over people.
No, exactly. But I do think that a lot of people have seen this as an easy, we're going to get her. And here's the thing. There are more impressive things, because I've done my research for once. There are more impressive things about Anne-Marie Morris to get her for than using that word.
Right.
Using that word. I mean, she's a Tory, and she's quite a hard-line Tory. Let's just go through a little bit of Anne-Marie Morris's voting history, okay? She generally voted against laws to promote equality and human rights. 2 votes for, 6 against, 1 absence. Almost always voted for reducing housing benefit for social tenants. 12 votes for, 0 against, 5 absences. Consistently voted against raising welfare benefits. 0 for, 5 against. Consistently voted against paying higher benefits over longer periods for those unable to work due to illness or disability. 0 for, 15 against. consistently voted for making local councils responsible for helping those in financial need afford their council tax and reducing the amount spent on such support. Almost always voted for a reduction in spending on welfare benefits, and almost always voted against spending public money to create guaranteed jobs for young people.
In the interest of fairness, where's that from?
From Twitter. From Twitter. But I've looked it up. I've checked the first three, and they were accurate. They were accurate. So have a go at her for her, we're not the BBC, we don't have to be fair anymore either. Have a go at her for her abysmal voting policy and her attitude towards people less fortunate than her. And yeah, pick her up for using a word that is a stupid, stupid word, right? It's a stupid word. Here's the thing, you want to know something? I've said the N-word. I've said it. Listening to Elvis Costello. Here we go. Listening to Elvis Costello's autobiography. He said the M-word. He talks about the time in the presence of Stephen Stills, he called Ray Charles, I believe the correct phrase is, a talentless blind N-word. And he got into a fist fight with Stephen Stills, of all people, in a bar in America in the late 70s, I think it was, maybe the early 80s. And you listening to that bit.
Yeah, he's in his defence,
yes,
or his mitigation, not defence.
Yeah.
He was blind drunk.
No.
Didn't he say that? He doesn't know why he said it.
No. But the blind drunk thing, I'm not buying that.
No, but he doesn't know why he would say something like that, does he?
He said it because he was angry and he wanted to have an effect. That's why he said it. But the thing is, I don't buy the drunk thing as an excuse. The thing is, though, he was full of remorse. You could hear the self-hatred in him as he's talking about it 35 years later and saying, I can't believe I said it, but I said it and I have to accept the responsibility that I said it and all of the weight and the baggage that comes with it. And I'm not telling you this. It's an incredible bit of the book. I'm loving the Elvis Costello audiobook. It's amazing. And it goes on forever. And he says, I'm not looking for sympathy by telling you that I did it, and I have to put my hand up and say that I did it, and I hate the fact I did it, and it doesn't in any way adhere to my beliefs against people of different ethnicities or different colours or whatever. Now, if this woman, Anne-Marie Morris MP, for Newton Abbot, is that a place? Now, I don't believe she's racist. I don't don't know.
I think that's I don't even know what that saying is. It's a horrible image.
Yeah. It's a saying. It's a saying.
I've never heard that before.
Well, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No,
It's a saying that exists.
But for that to trip off her tongue so easily, so carelessly.
I don't think she's a racist. I think she's stupid. I think she's dumb. I think she said something that I bet she's regretting it now. And I don't know, it is a phrase that I've heard it when I was younger. I've read it. I've certainly read it in things I can't think where. That doesn't justify it. Here's what I get from her saying that phrase, right? What I get is, I do not believe that she is a racist. I do believe she is massively out of touch with society and where we are, and words that are acceptable and words that are unacceptable. That's what I believe.
I can't believe she's got to that age in that position.
Oh, she's a Tory...
Without realising...
She's a Tory MP for Newton Abbott. There's a picture of Newton Abbott there.
But this was in a meeting. This was in public.
I know, but it looks... I don't know where Newton Abbott is. Find out where Newton Abbott is. It looks very picturesque. It looks, she will be in an enclosed... She'll be in a bubble. She'll be in a white, privileged bubble. Where she will think that is that is acceptable to say that kind of thing. Where is Newton Abbott?
Well, I'm looking at a map of it and I can't tell you. Hang on.
Okay.
It's near Torquay.
There you go. Well, there you go. You see, there you go. So, I'm not particular. I guess I am defending her a little bit. So I'm certainly not defending the phrase. I don't believe she's a racist for one moment. She might be. I don't believe she is. I just think she is very old-fashioned and completely out of touch with society. That's it. That's what I think. 0344 499 1000. Patrick!
Hi, hello.
Hey, Patrick.
Hello, well, I'm calling because Barry from Weston came to me and he said that he told you the story about a badger attacking me on Friday, I believe.
Well, and that then prompted the conversation that, first of all, we're not convinced that badgers actually exist because no one's ever seen a live badger. But he told us that a badger climbed up you, jumped on your shoulder and bit your ear.
He didn't bite me, no. Well, basically, let me retell the story because I wasn't...
Did a badger climb up you and jump on your shoulder?
He jumped onto my shoulder. He didn't climb up me.
Okay, so a badger jumped on your shoulder and bit what part of your body?
He did not bite me, no.
So what, he just sat on your shoulder?
No, he jumped onto me, and then I punched him off and run. You can imagine I was scared, so I punched him off.
Of a badger?
Yeah, well, basically, so as I was walking down the road, it was dark, it was 10:30, so I was walking back from work.
Right.
And I was walking through this alley that has like a fence, and
is this alleyway known for badger muggings?
No. Doesn't have that reputation.
No.
So basically, when I was entering the alley, a rat just ran across the road, a rat or a mouse, and I thought that was strange. Okay, so I didn't think that would happen. Anything similar would happen, so I kept walking.
Well, you didn't. Surely you've seen mice run in front of you before.
Yeah,
okay.
I have.
Okay.
So I didn't think twice of it. So
don't think twice, Mara. It's only a mouse.
Well, yeah, like what is it?
Why? Hang on a minute. If we heard this story on Friday, and it's a very far-fetched story, Patrick. Why are we hearing it again on Monday?
Well, because Barry came to me and asked me to come on here and confirm it or retell you the story because you didn't believe it.
I don't believe it. But you, unless you have, Barry wasn't there, was he?
No,
right.
He wasn't.
What I need to believe this story is I need either photographic or video evidence. I'd possibly accept an audio recording, or we need a witness. Can you provide any of those four things, Patrick?
Quite frankly, no, because it was at night. I was not expecting that to happen.
Right.
Recording.
Right.
I wasn't taking pictures and I ran, so I didn't think of taking pictures.
No. So you're just going to tell the same story that Barry told us last week, and by your reckoning, me hearing a story twice makes it true.
Well, you know, I can't make you believe it. I'm here because...
And I don't think you will make me believe it. But carry on.
Well, basically, that's all that happened. When I was walking up, I heard like a hiss or something, and I thought it was some dog or anything like that. I turned out, I looked, and as I was turning my head, it jumped onto me. I punched it off, and I ran down the road.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Suddenly this got exciting. You punched a badger off?
Well, I just punched it, and it fell off.
You punched him? How? And then I'm imagining, as you were running down the street, this was going through your head. It really is. I mean, this is a story of two bits of music, really, isn't it? It starts off with one day I'm going to sort my computer out. So it starts off with. Then the badger jumps on you. You punch it off. And suddenly in your head, you got this. Is that basically what happened, Patrick?
We're excluding the music.
Yeah, well, and what does it feel like to punch a badger?
Or, punching anything, I just, what does it feel like?
Yeah, well, what does it feel like to punch a badger off?
I'm not really sure what you're asking me.
And what I'm asking you is, what did it feel like to punch a badger off?
Like, nothing. Like, I was scared that it might bite me or scratch me or something like that.
Okay, so, but did you not, later on that evening, look at your fist and go, I punched a badger off?
No.
Hang on a second. Barry! Barry!
Yes,
Jesus,
Ian.
I'm losing the will to live with this bloody badger story.
Ian, this guy is a really regular, nice guy.
He sounds like a fantasist, a sexual fantasist. He punched a badger off.
No, he's not, Ian. I think you've been a bit unfair with the guy. I mean...
What?
You know,
hang on a minute. Yeah, why don't you told him to phone up my show?
I said to him that I'd recounted his story to you, which I did.
Yes.
And I thought you sort of poo-pooed the whole idea.
Yes,
you
I
said
did.
You'd never even seen badgers.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's a quite common sight to see badgers.
We had no one phone in and say they'd seen a badger.
Alive.
Well, you had one guy say that they were appearing from out of the sky with motors and all.
Yeah, exactly. No one phoned in and said they'd seen a badger, so we have no actual evidence that badgers exist. We have even less evidence that this fella punched a badger off.
Well, anyway, if there's listeners, and you know they think this is a feasible story and they've seen things, obviously it would be nice if they phoned in.
Do you really want to take this to a public vote? Do you really?
Yeah, because I think this is
Here we go.
This is one hell of a nice guy.
Yeah, sure, but I don't believe the story. Here we go, dear listener. Do you believe Patrick had a badger? Just remember, a badger jump on his shoulder. How tall are you, Patrick?
5'8".
Okay, so you are tiny. So, do you believe...
A badger? Would you like me to send it? Because my friend...
What?
He saw a badger. He's got a picture of a badger, so I can...
photographs don't count, because it just could be a toy or a cushion.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I've never seen a badger, a live one.
Well, I have, and my friend has.
Well, apparently one jumped on your shoulder and you punched it off.
Yeah, but, okay, you don't even believe badgers exist.
I didn't say that. I've said I'm not convinced badgers exist because I've never seen a live one.
I can show you a picture.
A picture's nothing. That is a picture. Is a picture a live badger?
So you've got a witness from me. I've got a picture.
I don't believe you.
Friend who's saw a badger.
I'm not going to believe your mate who's got a picture.
Well, what do you want?
I want to touch a live badger. Here we go. Look, Barry wants to put this to a vote, right? So, 0344 499 1000. We'll run this up until 11:30, so there's an hour and 10 minutes. Do you think, dear listener, that Patrick had a badger jump on his shoulder and then he punched it off and ran away? Or do you believe it's bullshine? 0344 499 1000. How's about that, Patrick and Barry?
Yeah, can I say one thing here?
No, because we're late for the break. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You can listen to us online at talkradio.co.uk. You can listen to us on DAB. Or, of course, why don't you download the Talk Radio app? I do it just so I can turn it off at 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I know. Shouldn't have blocked me on Twitter. Well, tonight's talk has ranged so far in the first 23 minutes from the N-word to badgers. There's a John Lennon song we can't play because of the N-word. Woman is the N-word of the world.
It's also not very good, is it?
Do you know what? It came on the other day in the car and I was singing along to it. It's not brilliant. A lot of John Lennon songs, including Imagine, are... and Working Class Hero and Woman is the N-word of the world. I like what he's trying to do. He's trying to make a statement, but I think his statements are very naive. And Imagine is a nursery rhyme, basically. It's a nursery rhyme. And a woman is the N-word of the world. I was shouting it out in my car. Woman is the N-word of the world. If you don't believe me, take a look at the one you're with. We make her paint her face and dance. So it goes off into a good instrumental. I quite like it, actually.
And his heart's in the right place.
His heart's in the right place. I don't think this woman is a racist. I don't think she's a racist.
No, but she's not using that term to try and provoke some sort of
No. But then we got people
debate.
Then we got people on Twitter, right? Then we've got people on Twitter, right? What you're missing, Ian, says Dan Sparky. I think. What you are missing, Ian, I think. Thanks for telling me what I'm missing. What you are missing, Ian, I think, is there a definite... So he's made his mind up already. There is a definite... All of these words are spelt wrong, by the way. What you're missing, Ian, I think is there is a definite subconscious racism going on here, even if not conscious. What you are missing, Ian, I think, is there is a definite subconscious racism going on here, if not conscious. Here's an interesting philosophical question. If someone is subconsciously racist, but consciously not racist, does that make them a racist? I would have thought to be a racist... I
thought there had been studies to suggest that we're all subconsciously racist, and the challenge in life is to correct yourself.
No, you're thinking of the song from Avenue Q. That's where you got that. No, I think you're right that we all have
the default position.
We all have a tendency to get on with better and be more comfortable within people who look and think and sound like us. That's just kind of the thing. So I think if I were subconsciously racist, right? If subconsciously I hated, let's say, black people, right? Subconsciously, how would that manifest itself? But consciously, through work, I had realised I was subconsciously racist, so I tried hard to correct it. This is
hate is a strong word. I wouldn't suggest that people...
Racism is hate.
Well, it's prejudice, isn't it? It's assuming things about other people.
Here we go. And then Cleo, right? Let's hope he doesn't phone in about it, because we'll
be here all night.
Yeah. Cleo says she is definitely... This doesn't make sense, man! She is definitely racist for not knowing, therefore caring how offensive the word and the term are. She is definitely racist for not knowing how offensive the word is.
Here's the thing. I don't think you can be an adult these days and not know how loaded that word is. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think there's a defiance in it.
I do believe that in some situations, people could be so isolated from reality. You know, I watched that prison film the other day with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. Here we go. I can't remember the name of the black actor in it. Anyway, about Will Ferrell going to prison. So it's quite a racist film, I thought. So Kevin Hart is the name, tiny fella. So he employs Kevin Hart because he assumes that because he's black, he's been to prison, right? And there's a really weird scene, right, where Kevin Hart says the only way you're going to survive in prison is you've got to align yourself, and Jerry Ray, Dom and Alan, I'll come to it, you've got to align yourself with the white supremacists. Right? So there's loads of racial... You've got to align yourself with the white supremacists. Kevin Hart drives him to a white supremacist, clan meeting. And he says, right, what you've got to do, you've got to go in there, make them think you're a racist, so that when you go to prison, their people will look after you. He goes, okay, how do I do that? He said, say the M-word. And he's saying, say the M-word. He's not saying the M-word. He's say the M-word. Will Ferrell said, I can't do it. He says, no, go on, say the M-word. I'm going to give you a free pass. You can say it now and it will... I can't do it. He says, right, okay. Okay. What is that thing that makes your leg bend? He goes, my knee. And what noise do dogs make? Grrr. Say that. So Will Ferrell's walking around going, I'm not going to... He's walking in doing that. And I like Will Ferrell a lot. And I watched it to the end because I just wanted to see how far they would go. And they went there. So he's saying knee, and then he's going grrr, with just the barest gap in between. And I can imagine that's done for laughs. And I can imagine that in an American cinema where the word has different history and weight behind it. It's still an inappropriate word, but it's different, I think, because of their more recent issues with slavery and with civil rights and all of those things. I can imagine a cinema laughing at that. And we talked, didn't we? We talked to the guy from the Bowery Boys, whose name escapes me at the moment, about films that we watched, that me and him watched as children, that you can't show on TV now. For example, the first Police Academy movie, there's loads of gags about black people in there. There's a bit where the two white guys look and they see I can't remember any of their names, the young black lady, and they go, there really are a lot of M-words around here. And then they turn round and see Hightower, the tall black guy, and they go, which is a good thing. That's Police Academy. Silver Streak with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, where he blacks up. So I don't find it so far-fetched to believe that that a white upper middle class Tory in the southwest of England would not know that word is inappropriate.
I do. I really do. And I think the fact is that she thought she was in company that would let that comment go as well. I find it staggering.
Okay. And I'm not in any way, because I have to keep saying this. Now, maybe I won't keep saying it. No, I'm not going to keep saying it, and let's see where that gets us. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, because I don't feel I need to say it, so I'm not going to keep saying it. So let's see what people make of that. Jerry, Dom, Ray, Alan, stay there. I'll come to you in a second. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. The N-word, and do badgers really exist? I mean, talk about the heavy and the froth, huh? This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Big up yourself, Jerry. Jerry?
Hello.
Hello, Jerry.
Just Keaton's Anne-Marie Morrissey's contribution to Parliament.
Yes, Jerry.
Voting record. So I think it's more offensive. Voting is more offensive than language.
Yes.
Language is just words.
Yes. But words, well, the whole thing about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I never understood that, because words, words are my tools. I can, you can hurt people with words.
Don't trust me, I don't care what people say. I know, I don't care. But, her policies are hurting people.
What are you doing? Are you racing horses in the home tonight?
No, I just got creaky feet.
Creaky feet. Great name for a band.
I'm falling bits again. I cut my arm on some nuts. Sorry, badgers.
Yes, badgers.
Ran one over in my driving days. Right in front of me. He ran one over me.
Well, are you sure that happened, or did you just see the badger's corpse afterwards?
Oh, I think so. He wasn't alive. Wasn't alive. They used to live on a farm.
I have driven many thousands of miles. I have never seen a living badger, Jerry. I'm not going to buy into this badger myth.
A badger outside Cranage in Middle Holmes Chapel.
Yeah.
You're going to Manchester again soon, aren't you?
We are coming to Manchester on Saturday, July the 29th. In fact, we might do a show the night before at a listener's house. We should probably talk about that, Catherine.
Yes. Is that what's happening now?
Yes, I think so. We will be in Manchester. There are tickets available. They are only £10 for our lunchtime show.
Yes. I'll try and get transport.
Well, this is the one that I think is going to be tricky for you, because I think it's upstairs.
It's all right. I can provide miracles. I can miracle myself. You see Convoy on telly last night.
I don't know the layout of this building, and I think we are upstairs in an old pub, Jerry, and I just think Hang on. Hang on a minute. I'm just saying this, because I just think that you getting up those stairs is going to be nigh on impossible.
No, I'm good at stairs. I'm really scared. I'm good at can do stairs.
Yes. All right. Well,
but they can't do
all
stairs.
right. I've warned you, but the show starts at 1, and if you're not in your chair by 1 o'clock, we'll be starting without you, Jerry.
I could. Did you see Convoy on telly last night?
What?
Convoy was on telly last night.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was driving back from Newcastle, listening to Elvis Costello's autobiography.
Just wanted to. That song that you played at the beginning.
Yes.
Sound like listening to the band a bit.
It does, doesn't it? It's country style.
Sound like listening to the band.
Jerry, I'm gonna cut you off now.
Goodbye.
There we go. Newcastle was a triumph and a success and a delight. We'll play you a little postcard from Newcastle later on in the show. 6.5 hours from door to door on Friday from me, leaving my house, picking you up, going all the way up to hotel number 1. 6.5 hours, only 5.5 hours on the way back. Boy, oh boy, at the end of that, I was very tired.
Is that because the Earth is turning in the way we were driving?
Yes, yeah. It is. That is how that works. Let's go to Ray. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening.
Good evening, Ray.
Badgergate.
Yes?
You didn't ask him enough questions.
Go on. What should I have asked this badger imaginator? Huh?
Badger Nation.
Well, actually, I've seen badgers on 2 separate occasions, but that's a different story. If he'd have said that it jumped from the ground onto his shoulder, then I would suggest that he was telling a fib. But if it was from, say, the top of a fence, then it could be plausible.
Well, hang on. How would the badger get onto the top of the fence? Can they climb up like rats and indeed cats?
They're big, but they've got very sharp claws, so they can use that to climb.
Okay. Well, so you say.
Yes.
Yes, so you say.
Well, I've seen a badger.
So you say. Where is the evidence? You got video recording of it? Have you?
No, because in fact both times were before mobile phones existed.
Right.
Of course it was.
Right. Okay, buddy.
Come on, Sunshine. You're an ex-copper. You know this is not evidence.
Exactly. Well, I was hiding in bushes the first time I saw one.
You talk to him, Kath, because I'm not buying a word of this.
Right, you were hiding in bushes. Was this on police business, or was this...
No, absolutely, of course. Otherwise, that'd be a little bit off. Yeah, so hiding in bushes, very still, watching...
Were you camoed up? Did you look like a badger?
No, I was just in dark clothing, watching a house.
Right, you weren't enticing the badger. I mean, assuming there is such a thing as a badger, you weren't enticing it in any way, because that would be illegal. Think.
No, not at all. Sitting there very quietly, and this was probably about 11:15 in the evening, and heard something ruffling to my right.
Yes.
Didn't think much of it.
No.
And then it literally came within about...
Did you take down its particulars?
Maybe being sick. No, I just rustled so that it would go off, and it did. It just went off on its merry way.
What's that noise?
Just rubbing my chin a bit. Look, it's a bit itchy because the beard's coming back. Ooh, Chili Recon. Oh, Jimmy Hill. Jimmy Hill, may rest in peace. Absolutely.
Why would I tell a fib about something like that?
That's exactly what a liar would say.
Exactly. You want to come on the show and you've got nothing interesting to say, so you're going to pretend to be one of the cool guys that seen one of these mythical badgers that everyone is apparently talking about, but no one's ever seen. No one's ever seen
Never
one.
alive, anyway.
No. And that bloke going, I've got a picture of one.
That his friend took.
I could Google pictures of badgers and it'll come up, don't mean nothing.
Have you never seen them on the nature programmes, though?
I don't watch the nature programmes.
3 letters, C-G-I.
You're as bad as him. Normally, you're the reasonable person out of the two.
So what does that say to you? I'm still that reasonable person. It's you this time that's...
Unbelievable.
Exactly, you are. Thank you. I'm glad you see that.
Incredible people.
Cleo's got a boner.
What?
Cleo's got a boner on Twitter.
Oh dear.
He's just calm down. This is the thing, right? This woman said something. It's stupid and it was dumb. But there's like more important things going on in the world. Yeah, yes, we should acknowledge it and we should raise our concerns about it and we should definitely say, hey, whoa, hey, where you going with the M word there? You can't have that.
To me,
Yep.
it's as if...
Yep.
It's as offensive.
Yes.
As if she'd said a man had said something about women and referred to us as, and I'm going to say the word, so forgive me.
What were you going to say?
Bitches.
Whoa! We can say bitches, can't we? I know in America.
Not in a flipping meeting when you're talking about your constituents.
I've said it in a meeting about you.
And to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise how loaded that word was. Nah, you did. You did, and if you didn't, you're stupid.
I'm not denying that she's not stupid. I'm not saying that for 1 second. I'm not denying that at all. She's
but
stupid.
also that she doesn't realise how loaded it is. She's a politician.
What was the... well, I mean... But
the N in the woodpile.
Yeah, but what was the full quote?
Well, because she's talking about...
No, I want the full...
Yeah.
I want the run-up and I want the aftermath
Right,
of that. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we're going to have the run-up, we're going to have the line, and we're going to have the aftermath.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Before we go any further, David Badcock is messaging me on Facebook.
Told you not to add him as a friend.
And he sent me a picture of Badger. And I've said, yeah, it's a picture. And he said, is that what we're doing? And I've replied, it's not evidence. It's not evidence. It's not evidence that Badgers exist as a photograph. Anyone just sent me a... That's a meerkat, you absolute plum. Go on, give us the quote. Give us the line.
All right, here we go. So
here we
this
go.
is Conservative MPs had the whip suspended after being recorded describing the possibility of the UK leaving the EU without a trade deal as an N in the woodpile.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was... Anne-Marie Morris, the pro-Brexit MP for Newton Abbot, Devon, made the comment at a Monday lunchtime meeting at the East India Club organised by an organisation called Politia.
We used to own it.
Now we get to the real N in the woodpile, which is, in 2 years, what happens if there's no deal, she was recorded as saying.
Okay. Yeah, she was dumb to say it. That means the fact that is not being talked about or is people are trying to obfuscate around. I don't know how to... I'm really trying to use the word obfuscate a lot, but I don't really know how to put it into a sentence. But that's what it means.
She said the comment was totally unintentional.
That's probably not... That's possibly not true. That's possibly not true. I don't think... You certainly cannot, from that, ascertain, as all the people on Twitter are, that she's a racist.
Everybody knows that word is loaded.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that using that word is a political statement.
No, it does. No. But here's the thing. I don't think everybody does know that.
They do. Some people insist on using it
Catherine,
as a defiant thing.
You cannot impose...
How old is she?
Hang on. Let me finish speaking. You cannot impose your knowledge of that word on someone else.
You are.
No, but
you're saying it can be used without meaning to cause offence?
No, I'm not. I've not said that at all. I'm saying that that you cannot ascertain from that she is a racist. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. I'm saying she must know that it is a loaded word. I never said she was racist.
No. And I don't think that she does know that it's a loaded word. I think it is accepted that there are people who do not know that is a loaded word. You can't...
She's born in 1957. She's younger than my mother. I cannot believe that.
So what? She lives in the south? Where does she live? Paynton? In Devon? Where's it?
She lives in...
Torquay. Where's Torquay?
Yeah, but she went to...
Where's that? Cornwall?
Devon, but she went to Oxford.
Doesn't mean anything. Oxford, you can go to Oxford. You can go to Oxford. Doesn't mean you can even... Let me finish speaking. You can go to Oxford, but it doesn't mean you can even iron a shirt or boil a cup of tea. It just means you know books. That's all that is. It means you know books. Doesn't mean that she knows... In fact, Oxford, how many black people were in Oxford when she was there? How many black people are in Oxford now? I would suggest not many. You cannot, from what she said, extrapolate that she is a racist.
I have never said...
I'm not saying that you are.
Okay.
I'm talking about the listener.
Okay.
But also, you cannot say everyone knows what this word means. You can't, because it's simply not true. There will be people, she may be one of them, she may not be one of them, who don't know the weight of that word. And I suggest that a woman who went to Oxford in the mid-70s and lives in Devon, a white Tory, is completely out of touch with significant developments in language and words. That's what I'm saying.
She studied law.
What does that mean?
It means that she knows the power of words, surely.
Yeah, but it doesn't... When was the N-word module?
Oh, for heaven's sake,
When was the N-word?
N-word has been offensive for 100 years.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, it has.
That's simply not true. Again, I refer you to the scene in Silver Streak that we would watch on Saturday afternoons at 5:45, where Gene Wilder, one of the best-loved comic actors, puts on boot polish, puts a stereo on his shoulder, clicks his fingers and goes, "I'm an N-word, I'm an N-word."
Yeah, but why is that?
Laughed.
But why was that supposed to be funny? It was supposed to be funny because it was a loaded word then.
No, because he was in disgust. No. There are so many 70s and 80s films where the N-word is thrown around like a comic word because it will get a laugh. It wasn't loaded in that. You watch that scene, he is in disguise, and a black guy comes out and says, "You ain't got rhythm, it's all about rhythm." And he goes, "Okay, I'm an N-word, I'm an N-word." The joke is he's pretending to be black. That's what made it funny. I think that film came out in 1979. That's what made it funny. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Dom.
Dom? Never heard of him. Listen, that Barry's telling the truth about Badgers. Don't know how I know.
Go on.
Because my name's Bodger and he got me right in the bloody nose.
Thank you very
so
much.
Look at the magnetite.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Alan. Good evening, Alan.
Him.
Yes.
How was the rabbit hole last night?
It was good. We had Tony Robinson phone up. Literally the last... We did a little podcast that we do. You can get them from iTunes and from Acast called The Rabbit Hole. Me and Catherine. And we did it in Newcastle yesterday. And at 7 o'clock, I was about to switch off and I was about to wrap it all up. And a withheld number appeared on the screen. I thought, the last call we've had has been so good. All right, I'll take it. It was Tony bloody Robinson.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Yeah, Lord, I've got another couple of things for you.
Yes?
But the thing about Badgers, it's all a complete bullshit to me.
Yeah, doesn't it just?
Yeah, and you were talking about the N-word.
Yep.
I can name a 70s TV programme that had racially offensive jokes.
Well, you're going to say Love Thy Neighbour or whatever it was.
That was the one that started it all.
Well, I don't think Love Thy Neighbour started racism. Yeah, we can name loads of things where they do. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but and it doesn't mean that it was necessarily right back then. Now, I've never seen Love Thy Neighbour, or if I have, I don't remember it. Who directed it, Alan?
I don't know, before my time, but...
Oh, I'll tell you, do you know... Catherine, do you know who directed it?
No.
William G. Stewart, host of 15 to 1. There we go. There we go.
Producer of The Price is Right as well.
Yes, he was the producer of The Price is Right. Absolutely correct. Hosted by Leslie Crowther. Come on down now!
Oh, I loved watching that on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to Love Thy Neighbour...
Yes.
It starred Rudolph Walker... which we now know as Patrick Truman from EastEnders.
Yep. There we go. These are facts.
And I can relate a joke from that.
I'd rather not.
It was the first reference on the Race Relations Board.
Yeah, I'd rather not. We all know what Love Thy Neighbour was. There are some that argue that it was racist. There are some that argue that it was funny. There are some that argue that it wasn't racist because the black person had the power over the racist white neighbour. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I can't. I can't fall. I don't fall in either camp.
Maybe there's some clips on YouTube to make up your mind.
No, I don't. I've got better things to do than watch Love Thy Neighbour on YouTube.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. I've got better things to do with my time. I've got much better things to do. Craig.
Hey, Ian, hi, Kath.
Hiya.
You're not causing another racist Ferrari, are you?
I think it's pronounced Ferrari.
I think I was trying to do that word, yeah.
No. Someone will complain to Ofcom. Make sure you make a note of today's date. Someone will complain, thinking they've heard something they haven't heard.
You can't tell from what she said if she was racist or not.
No.
Like you've been arguing. But it is unacceptable to say nowadays.
Yes.
With Bill Maher in America, he got into trouble, didn't he?
Who's this?
A couple of weeks ago. The comedian stroke TV host Bill Maher.
Who? Bill Maher. Oh, Bill Maher. Here's the thing about Bill Maher, right? Who hosts Politically Incorrect, right? Here's the thing, right? He's he's been slagging off Muslims for years and years and years, right? And now he's kind of coming around to start slagging off Trump. Bill Maher is a nasty piece of work who hosts nasty, nasty shows, who gets as far as he can up to the line of slagging off Muslims and other people without crossing that line. He's an SH1T stirrer, and we don't need people like Bill Maher.
Yeah, he had to have Ice Cube on after he'd done it. And Ice Cube.
Did he? Is that the rule in America? If you say the N-word, if you're a white man that says the N-word, you've got to have... was it Ice Cube?
Yeah, he was in NWA, so he's good on the N-word.
OK, well, it's the name of his pop group.
The
Ends with Attitude.
He was getting annoyed with Mayer, and in the end he said, that's our word now, you can't have it back.
Oh, for goodness sakes. I mean, you know.
But it shows, doesn't it, if you're left-wing or right-wing...
Everyone on Twitter's just having a right, left wing, oh yeah, this woman said that. All right, brilliant, she said it. You call her out for it, definitely, but there are bigger battles to be won. You are all being... Here's what was making me angry, right, is that people are being sidelined by something that in the great scheme of things, right, is not the most important thing in the world. It's some MP from some, we didn't even know where it was that she's an MP for, that has got no impact on most people in this country. While that we're looking at that and we're ignoring the fact that we're getting totally stitched up over Brexit because it's going to be a terrible, terrible thing for the country, with the head of Sainsbury's coming out going, well, yeah, of course, food's going up, and after Brexit we're going to have more expensive food and less choice. And all these people are going, Brexit is going to be an absolute car crash, and we're worried because some woman we've never heard of said a word. Everyone's being distracted by it.
It's easy targets, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and people are right to call her out on it, but it's not the main prize. It's a little diversion, guys. It's a tiny little diversion. When was the last time you saw Theresa May, Craig?
On telly?
Yeah.
At the G20, when she was...
Where?
At the G20 with Trump.
Right, and what did she say? What did she say?
Oh, no, you never hear
No. When was the last time that we saw Theresa May, our Prime Minister, coming out and addressing the nation? I'm struggling to think of... The general election was, I think, 5 weeks ago this week. I'm struggling to think of more than 2 occasions since then when she's come out and addressed us. I can't think. And since then, we've had blooming Grenfell. With the whole general election was a farce. We've had Grenfell. We've had so many things happen. I can't think of when she last came. I've got no idea what Brexit is. I don't know what Brexit looks like. I don't know what it's going to be. At the moment, I'm worried it's going to be bad for me and my pocket and my kids, more importantly. But I don't know, because our Prime Minister is shit scared of coming out and talking to us. And people are worried because some woman we've never heard of said a stupid, horrible, nasty word.
They've learned, because in the American election, Hillary Clinton didn't hold a press conference, and Trump did what he did. They've learned that if you don't say anything, you can't get done for it.
Exactly. She's our Prime Minister, and she has got to be. It's hard. I need an outtime, please, Sam. It is hard to think that we could get a Prime Minister worse than David Cameron, but boy, oh boy, we've got one. We've had the 2 most incompetent Prime Ministers that were certainly in living memory for me, and probably in the last 50 years. And she has not come out and she has not said anything. That's what gets to me, is that we are being driven off the edge of a cliff about Brexit. Our Prime Minister has not come out and addressed us about the horrible events of Grenfell, about all the terrorist actors, all of that horrible stuff going on. We've got none of that. And people are worried because some woman who I've never heard of and will never hear of again has said something really, really stupid.
It's true. It's a distraction.
There you go, you see, it's a distraction, that's what it is. Thank you, Craig. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Paul, stay there, we'll come to you after the news. It's been a fiery first hour. I'm quite thirsty. You thirsty?
No, is that a hint, though?
Well, it's a hint for either you or Sam to make some magic fire water appear.
I'm not thirsty because I've been drinking water all day.
You have been drinking water. Here's the thing. We'll tell you about Newcastle after the news. We had a brilliant, brilliant time, but there were an awful lot of meat.
Oh.
Both of us trying to lose weight, and the amount of meat that we ate. And on the Sunday before the show, we're at the venue, the Stand in Newcastle, and the guy said, "Do you guys want something to eat?" We went, "No, we're all right." We do a cracking roast. A roast dinner, you say? Cooked for us. And it was huge. I thought it'd be a Ponzi pub one. It was massive. I saw the bloke behind us on the table. I went, "Struth, we should have got one to share." So we're both trying to lose some weight now after failing miserably. Anyway, Paul, stay there. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You're listening to the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You can call in about any of the stuff we're talking about or anything that grabs your fancy. The Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
0344 499 1000. It's been a feisty first hour, dear listener. We have talked about badgers and we've talked about the M-word. And never the twain shall meet. Here comes the refreshments. Thank you, Catherine. Can you check that the aircon is on? Because I tell you what, I am sweating.
Oh, it's on at 20.
What the heck? Jeez. Who's been walking in here? Can you explain? Let me find this tweet. Nigel says, we can't say the N-word, but you can say the B-word, which is offensive to Christians.
Which B-word?
Well, I don't know. It just says the B-word.
Beelzebub.
Well, what B-words are there? Bitch? Mm-hmm. Why would that be offensive to Christians? I don't know.
And I said it.
Bastard? To Christians, not to Christian.
Specifically to Christians.
Nigel Greenwood on Twitter, can you give me a little bit more informazione, s'il vous plaît, on which B word you mean?
And if you mean the B word I used it to highlight the fact that that is a powerful word. And if you're talking about your constituents, you've got to be careful about how you refer to them.
Why would the B word be offensive to Christians?
It wouldn't. If that's what you mean, Nigel, we disagree, but give us a ring.
I can't think of any... let us know, Nigel. Let us know, because I'm intrigued as to intrigued to it. So we went to Newcastle, 6.5 hour drive. All the way up, we listened to the Elvis Costello audiobook. On the way back down, we listened to the Elvis Costello audiobook. It's still going. I thought it finished at 12.5 hours. That's why I was listening to it all the way down, because I thought, I'll finish it tonight. I'm on about 14.5 hours now. He's just written My Brave Face with Paul McCartney.
Oh, blimey. That was a while ago.
I love it. I'm really enjoying it. He seems like a really nice bloke and a bit of a shagger to start for a long, long time. Trouble.
That was the thing that I took from it, and I did, on the occasions I was allowed to speak in that car journey, I said to you, he does very well, doesn't he, for a very average-looking bloke.
You called him a minger, which I thought was offensive. I thought that word is offensive to plain lads like myself. But no, I can.
He does all right.
I can understand that. That kind of.
I bet he's charming.
That kind of. Oh, I bet he's very charming. That the whole British thing over in America, and he probably played up on the Liverpool thing, and that kind of Buddy Holly geekery about him. Look, it's a sweary Buddy Holly.
Plus, and can I say this?
Yeah, go on.
We don't know how fussy he is.
No, but I'm really enjoying it, and I tell you what. And it does loosely tie in with Anne-Marie Morris, the MP, because there is a big bit about that. I'd forgotten the story where he called Ray Charles a talentless blind N-word and got into a fist fight with Stephen Stills. And then at the end of the story, he talks about going to see his wife, Diana Krall, playing, and he stood in the wings, and Ray Charles walks... You can see Ray Charles... Years later, and it's been like a big story, years and years ago, he sees Ray Charles walking towards him, and he just bows his head and says nothing.
Still feels terrible about it.
As well. But it's a really, really interesting book. But Newcastle... Paul, I'll come to you in a minute. 0344 499 1000. Hey, guys, we love your city! We love your city, even though hardly anyone there had heard of Talk Radio. They'd heard of James Whale, thought he was a tosser. They'd heard of Talk Sport. They hadn't heard of us. So that advertising campaign is going really, really well, guys. Thanks, Denny. Thanks, Mr. Murdoch. Thanks, Miss Brooks. Thanks, guys. That's going really, really well. Really well. The stealth advertising where we don't mention we've got a radio station. I like it. Modern. I like it. And we had about 40 people came and saw our show on the Sunday night, and they were all delightful.
And none of them from Newcastle.
No, none of them were from Newcastle. Quiet in the first half. I did think we were tanking and were dying, but they all seemed to. Second half, lots of laughter, and they all seemed to enjoy it. So
they all came back.
They all came back, and they were all very. So everyone who came on Sunday, thank you. Please spread the word. About this show and about the rabbit hole, but primarily about this show, and tell people they can tune in. We listened in my car up in Newcastle, so DAB, Talk Radio works on DAB, and of course they can download the apps and listen anywhere. But there was a lot of meat. On the Sunday, we had a full roast dinner before a show. I like to do a show on an empty stomach, because I like to have energy, and a full roast dinner really weighed me down.
We were both ready for a kip, weren't we, really?
Man alive. But it was incredible. But the night before, we'd wandered around Newcastle, Saturday night, trying to find something to eat. Didn't want to eat in the hotel. Very rarely do I eat in a hotel. We wanted to go and find something. And we struggled. Maybe we were looking in the wrong places, Newcastle, I don't know. By the way, Kira's just texted 87222. Just brought my dad the Billy Idol audiobook on your recommendation. I've had so many people get in touch saying they've bought the Billy Idol book and loved it. Honestly, guys, it will, Kira, your dad will not be disappointed by that. I've had about a dozen people get in touch saying I've bought it. I love it. I'm hooked.
It's a very silly book.
Oh, it's so Moorish. But Newcastle, we struggled to find anywhere good to eat. Really. There were lots of places with people outside vaping and fighting. Well, not fighting, but shouting. And
there's a lot of people dressed up for stag and hens.
Well, there's the real cliche. And it was quite nice weather. It was a bit ropey on Friday, but Saturday it was a nice day. But the cliche of Newcastle women not wearing very much is true. It's very true. High heels, big stilettos or kind of platform, big, and very, very short skirts, very short hot pants. The new fashion, the fashion for ripped jeans, where you'd have 2 or 3 rips. Now it's like, there'll be about 15 rips, and one will be right by the fanny.
Can I break this to you?
Yes.
It's not just Newcastle women. That's what young women wear these days. It's all about quote-unquote glamour. I think that you and I are not... It's not our natural environment at a high street on a Saturday night anymore, is it?
It's not. But we ended up in... Whenever we seem to go to places... I think back to the last night in New York. We went to the Dallas barbecue ribs. We saw a barbecue ribs place and we went, we can't go in there. We can't go and have ribs again. And then we wandered around and we just went... Should we go to the barbecue place? Yeah, go on then. And we did, and we ordered a sharing platter for 29 quid, right? And I thought, for 29 quid, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. And I said to the young lady, would that be enough for 2? Do we need? She goes, I think you'll be all right. Bloody hell!
It was a breadboard full.
I couldn't believe it. It was massive. And there was... I don't even know what brisket is, but I love brisket. There was brisket, there was pulled pork, there were chicken wings, there were ribs, there was another one.
There was a sausage that you liked.
There was the sausage, it was a bit like a chorizo. There was a cup full of spicy beans. There were the most delicious chips I've ever had in my life. Didn't have any American cream soda, but doesn't matter. I had a nice tea.
You had a cup of beans.
I had a cup of... It was incredible. And like the three bits of sausage and I was stuffed, but there was no way. We left a little bit. And part of me did think, we should ask for a doggy bag because I could do that in the hotel room a bit later on. But, the food was incredible, wasn't it?
Such a good place.
Absolutely incredible. I wish I knew the name of the place.
Longhorn.
The Longhorn in Newcastle. If you go there, tell them we sent you guys because it is, it is I think the sharing platter we got was meant for 4. It was meant for 3 or 4, wasn't it? That was not a 2-person play, I don't think. It was just incredible. And we had good. We went and looked at some record shops. We went to Tynemouth. And there was a festival on, and we went on the beach, and we had oysters. You'll hear some of that later on, because we recorded some bits and pieces of us travelling around. So you'll get to hear that a bit later on.
It was glorious. The beaches in particular, absolutely beautiful. You could be forgiven for thinking you're in Cornwall or somewhere.
Here's the thing, right? And this is going to sound stupid, and this shows how little I know about our great country. I didn't know there were beaches up there in the northeast. I didn't know. I just assumed that that Newcastle, obviously it's on the Tyne. I just assumed it would just go out into the sea like the Thames or something, and that would be. I suppose what river is Margate? Where does Margate? That's not the Thames, is it? I don't know. I don't know this country, which is why I think we should do another tour of America. I don't know this country. But the beaches were the gorgeous sand, the sun, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Mark, Paul, Glenn, I see you're talking to our new recruit, Sam. Stay there. We will come to you in a bit, I promise. Dear listener, you can give us a call about absolutely anything. This is the late night alternative. And by that, it means we can do the light, we can do the shade, we can do the heavy, we can do the really, really dumb as well. Still haven't got any conclusive proof that badgers exist. But we do know that it's wrong to say the M word. What an hour and 15 minutes. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. My name's Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Apparently, bloody is a swear word offensive to Christians. Bloody hell, I guess.
The blood of Christ, I suppose it goes back to as well.
Well, gore blimey means God strike me blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell, I suppose.
I think crikey even is a euphemism.
It's
for
Christ, isn't it? Yeah.
Gee whiz, again, another one. I mean,
gee whiz, what's that? Jesus Christ. No, it's not. No, it's not. You just made that up. That's sort of just an American thing.
Yeah, good G's.
Bryn's not listening to the show. Bryn's angry on Twitter.
Oh.
A while ago, you were having a go at people for using the word, and he types the word retard. But the M word is okay. Doesn't type the M word. Types the R word. Doesn't type. A while ago, you were having a go at people for using the word R. But the M word is okay. That's right, Bryn. That is exactly what I have spent the last 78 minutes saying. You've got me there. Yes, I have spent the last 78 minutes saying it's okay to use the M word. You're right. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear enough. I think it is okay to use the M word, Bryn. You've absolutely been paying attention and you have totally got the point I was making. Well done. Why don't you switch off the radio now and go and have a lie down? Because I don't want you to do too much thinking, buddy. It might, your ears might pop. Mark. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, Ian. I've just tuned in. I do listen regular, but I've just come in the house, so I've just put the radio on.
Sounds like a guilty conscience.
Heard you had a good time in Newcastle.
Oh, it was brilliant, Mark. We loved it.
Did you go down to the quayside where Betty Surtees pub was? Because there's a lot of history down there.
No.
It's a pub. It's an old pub from the 15th century, like an old jailhouse.
Now, hang on. Is that the guy? Is that the guy Simon that we phoned up on there?
Simon.
What pub are you talking about?
Betty Surtees pub. It's called
Betty Seddy. Who's Betty Seddy?
Oh, she was rescued from the pub, and the dog. There's a big load of stairs called the Dog Leap Stairs, and the guy came down the stairs with the horse to get her. Apparently, it's well known.
You're making this up.
A lady was rescued from a pub by a horse coming down the stairs.
The Dog Leap Stairs at Newcastle. A guy came rustling down the stairs on a horse to rescue her from the pub because her dad kept her locked up in the room up the top. The Betty Surtees pub, yeah, in the Middle Ages.
We did not go. If we'd have known about the Betty Seddies, we would have gone to the Betty
Surtees house.
But we did not know about Betty Seddies, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, that's just one of the little historical artifacts. Did you go in the Keep, Newcastle Keep, or not?
No.
Here's the thing: we were there. We got there Friday night. We left Sunday evening, 8 o'clock, 7:45. We left, and then we only had so much time. Friday we were working. Saturday we had a day off. We did go for a drive, and we went to Tynemouth, and we went to the market there, Cresswell, which
oh, brilliant!
Yeah, so we did see stuff.
Great places that you could have a look at if you go back up there again. Up in Northumberland,
don't tell us after we've been there, Mark. Why didn't you phone up last week?
I know, you could have went to Lindisfarne, Holy Island. That would have been a really interesting place to go and have a look around.
Oh, dear. Well, you should... I don't know if we'll be going back in a rush,
Seaton Delaval's a really nice place. Or you could have went up to Chillingham Castle. That would have been great.
Yes.
Up in Northumberland, Chillingham. A huge castle.
Please, but why is he telling us about places we could have gone to? Mark!
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were going up there. But I'll tell you what, if you go... I'll tell you what, do. When you go online and look up Chillingham Castle, it's a huge castle. It's not a ruin; it's a proper castle.
Oh,
and it's all in a structure.
Here's the thing. I'm going to let you into a secret, right?
Right.
I live almost next door to the greatest castle, not only in this country, quite possibly in Europe, Windsor Castle. Is the castle you're telling me going to be better, the same as, or worse than Windsor Castle?
I've never been to Windsor Castle, but obviously...
the Queen chooses to spend more of her time there than she does at Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. Oh, no, but this castle's steeped in loads of history because that's where they used to keep all the Scots.
So is Windsor Castle! People used to get used to...
He should have gone, shouldn't he?
There's a guy... I tell you, there's a really nasty bloke called John Sage, and he was known as the Hammer of the Scots. He used to torture the Scots. And he
does he still live there? Is he still there? Is he the bloke he goes to the Betty City pub?
His ghost is there. People do see his ghosts on a regular basis.
No, they
You'll be telling us you've seen badgers next.
No.
That place is a place of horror. Honestly, it's like Dracula's castle in Transylvania. It's a horrific place, honestly.
Mark, listen, thank you so much for the post-trip recommendations of where to go. It's always appreciated. Good evening, Paul.
Hi.
Hey, Paul. What you got for us?
I had a week off, as you said.
Yep, well done. Well, you kept phoning in and emailing in, but...
I didn't keep that okay. I've been holding on a while now.
There we go. What you got for us?
Okay. About the N-word. Yes. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
No, you don't say that to children anymore, the rest of it, do you?
No, yes you do.
Well...
As far as I'm aware now, it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger, I think. Or tiger or spider.
Or a baby.
Yeah, I don't know what word they used to replace
But
it.
even in the 70s, I would have been saying that in 1978.
I was
Hello,
brought up
let
with-
me... I'm speaking, Paul. Even in the 70s, I would have been saying that in about 1978, 79, and I certainly was unaware of the N-word version. We didn't use it then. I never used to know the ip-dip dog shit we used to do. You trod in it.
I didn't know about the second verse of The Sun Has Got His Hat On either.
Yeah.
OUT spells out, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. Were you last picked for the football team at lunchtime?
I didn't play football at lunchtime.
Oh. You didn't play with a tennis ball in the playground?
Not football, no.
Oh,
played
God.
Space Invaders, played marbles, played had, played
had?
It.
Yeah.
Played bit hopscotch. I quite liked hopscotch.
What was the kissing one?
What?
Kiss chase?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Can I have a funny say about badgers?
Yep.
Okay. You must know the pub in Burnham Beach is called the Jolly Woodman.
Yeah, I do. I used to do hypnotism shows there, and there was a nice young lady who worked there about, let me do the maths in my head, about 22, 23 years ago. Really nice young lady. I cannot for life me remember her name. About my age. I remember
Was it Vicky by any chance? It might have been, mightn't it?
Well, she told me. Here's the thing. We got chat. Didn't really. Because I would go in there sometimes and drink, but I'd go in there, do hypnotism shows, and she told me that she'd just been diagnosed with something.
Are you being serious about this?
No, Paul. I'm making up a story from some girl I met 22 years ago who told me because I'm making it up. You idiot. Because I'm being serious. Why would I make this up? Where's the fun bit in this?
Because I thought you might be winding me up. That's all.
Oh, Paul. Do you know what? Take another week off. Flipping heck. I can't be doing with that. I'm trying to join in the conversation. He thinks I'm taking the mick out of him. Remember this girl? Because I sort of fancied her a little bit, but not massive. I didn't really know her. She worked behind the bar. And I remember her, she was quite upset. She said she'd been diagnosed with something. And funnily enough, she popped into my head a couple of weeks ago. Just, sometimes do. People you haven't thought of for years and years, and I've not seen her 22, 23 years. I've not seen her. And she just popped in and I thought, oh, wonder what happened to her if she did get ill, or if I don't know, the people that you've not thought of for years and years and years, floating around in your head. I will tell you what happened today. I had a meeting today. I'm doing a job next year, and I had a meeting with the people that were doing it, and surprisingly, they were delightful, which is always a bonus. I've done jobs where you meet people and come away thinking, well, there it is. They're actually really, really nice people, and we had a really nice chat about the show, and it was at Waterloo. We met at Waterloo, and I came out of Waterloo at this big train station, mainline station and underground station, okay? And you come out and there are buses and all kinds of stuff, and I saw a lady who at the time I thought was older than me. I think if she was older than me, she wasn't much older than me, but she had one of those, my mum used to have one, she had a walker, where it's on wheels. So it's sort of like a Zimmer frame, but it's sturdier and it's on wheels. And that helps people that struggle to walk because it's got a forward motion. And she was stood in the middle of the pavement, just stood there. Look, not really doing anything. And I walked past her and she just didn't look anything like my mum. But she just reminded me of my mum. One of the saddest things in the stories of my mum is when she was still at home and wasn't getting carers going to visit her. And we were still kind of conning ourselves. She was able to look after herself. And she had a shopping trolley that she used to push in front of her, and she had it weighted down. It had like rocks in it to weight it down. And I never forget, a neighbour told me that on the way to the shops they'd found her. She'd just fallen over on the side. Couldn't get up. And anyway, and I saw this woman, and I walked past, and I thought, no, I'm good. Do you know what? I'm going to go and have a word with her. And I said, excuse me, my dear. I'm good with ladies of an age. I think she probably may even have been younger than me. I said, excuse me, I'm sorry to disturb you. You look a bit concerned. Do you need any help? And she said yes. And her speech wasn't great. She was there, but her speech wasn't great. And her hands were all kind of, clawed and kind of frozen. And very carefully, very slowly, she pulled out a scrap of paper from her bag and pointed at it. And I said, right, you're going to... where was it she was going to? Chancery Lane, I think it was. I said, oh, you're going to Chancery Lane. Are you going to get the tube? She went, no. She pointed to a number and there was a 341. I said, oh, you want to get the bus to Chancery Lane? She said, yes. I said, right. Stay here. I'm going to go to that bus stop and I'm going to see what it says and we'll find out where you need to go. So I went over to the bus stop and the bus stop didn't... The number she gave me didn't tally with the number for Chancery Lane bus. So I flagged down a bus driver and I got chatting to, I said, I'm with this lady over here. Where do I get this bus from? He went, oh, right, okay. What you need to do is you need to go back out onto the main road and then kind of double back on yourself and it'll be there. Mm. So I got talking to this lady and I said, look, this guy has just told me it's just round here, but I think it might be a bit of a walk. Would you like me to come with you and just help make sure you find the right place? And she went, yes. And so we were walking. Oh God, it was to start with, it was really pleasant, right? And she was walking very slowly and I was kind of talking and I said, look, if I walk quite fast, if I go slow, if I go too fast, you just tell me to slow down. And she said, thank you. And we talked about the weather because it was a nice day and I was joking, oh, I'm glad this is sunny because this would be horrible in the rain. And then I talked about the walker she had and I said, oh, they're good, those walkers, aren't they? My mum had one of those. And we started talking about my mum. She said, oh, she really couldn't speak very well. She kept saying, how long? I said, well, Mum used to use this 20 years ago. And, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw loads of bus stops and buses. And I said, right, I'm going to run ahead. I'm going to speak to that bus driver and find out. And the first bus driver didn't know where we needed to get that bus from. The second bus driver said, you've got to walk further up that road. And then I got to a third bus driver just to check. And she went, yeah, you go up there. So we're walking with this woman and just chatting. And me kind of talking to her, and I said, "Do you want me to leave you now, or shall I come with you and just see you get on the bus?" She said, "Oh yes, please." And I feel myself welling up now. And as we were walking, I just started crying because so many things. Because when we got to the bus stop, she went, this is it. I said, oh, you remember this now? You've been here before. I wasn't shouting like she was doing. I said, oh, you've been here before. She went, yes. I said, oh, she'd just gone up the wrong street and had got lost. And she was off to see a friend. And she told me, I said, how did you get here? Did you get the bus? She said, no, I walked. And our walking was so slow. I mean, it was really, it was a shuffle. And as we got to the bus stop, and by coincidence, I said, oh, there's your bus coming now. Let me go ahead and I'll speak to the driver and I'll get him to wait for you. And I got on and it was a young lady driving. I said, I'm with this woman here. Can you just wait? I just want to make sure she gets on. And she came and she got on and I showed the lady the bus where she was going. I said, can you just keep an eye on her and let her know? And she said, yeah, fine. And someone got up and gave her the seat. And I got off the bus and I burst into tears. It was the saddest thing. I'm going to cry now. And I put my sunglasses on and I was in floods of tears. I was partly in floods of tears because I was really, really tired because of that drive last night. And I got back about 3 and I was up at 8:30 because I had to take my youngest to the dentist. And I was in tears because of him, because he'd been really upset because he had an injection of the tooth out and it wasn't the fun thing he thought it was going to be. So I was in tears about that. I was in tears for this poor woman. This poor woman who was just stuck there. And, had I not helped her, I'm sure someone would have come along and helped her. But I have no idea how long she'd been there. I have no idea how long she would have waited before someone else came along. I have no idea how far she walked, but I just think, Christ, that would have been torturous to her. Just this and that, even lifting up the wheels on a dipped curb to get up on the curb. And I was deliberately not helping it. Every now and then I said, do you want me to just lift the front? She'd go, yeah, I'll go, fine. And I never took anything for granted, never did anything that without saying, do you need a hand? Are you okay? She would say, yeah. I cried for my mum. I really cried for my mum because there were years when she was like that. And I did a lot for her. But I could have done more. And I also cried for her because her life right now sucks. My mum's life sucks. And I said this before, that she nearly died twice last year. And I wish my mum had died last year. Imagine wishing that. I wish she had died last year. There was, when they saved her, I was like, brilliant, they've saved her. Oh, she's got nothing to look forward to in her, and it's the saddest thing. And I just cried because the world's a bit rubbish sometimes, isn't it? And some people get dealt really bad hands.
But God, the determination to go and see her friend.
She was incredible. She was, and it did hit me. I just assumed she was older. I've got no idea how old she was. But as I walked away, I said out loud, I think she was younger than me. And I've said this before, if I ever get anywhere close to my mum, I'm done. I'm not living like that. I want to, and we've got a friend of the family who's very, very ill at the moment, quite suddenly has taken a turn, and, and it's looking like that's coming to an end. So there's all these, aspects of mortality and looking at my kids. Oh, jeez, man alive. Anyway, so that was my day. But she was a really nice lady, and what was nice, all of those bus drivers were really keen to help as well. They were all quite concerned about her when I pointed her out, said, I'm with this lady.
Yeah, but the thing is, it just takes one person to flag it up.
Yeah.
I think people are genuinely and generally good at heart, and they can always see that a soul in need, is something they want to get involved with.
It was nice when I got on the bus. The young lady driving it was really keen to help, and she said, I've got this covered. And she said, I'll let you know when we get to your stop. Yours is the last stop. Fella got up and gave his seat and all of that, and I don't know. Anyway, John, Glenn, stay there. Come to you in a second. 0344 499 1000. The late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Right. Let's go to Glenn. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening.
Good evening, Glenn.
You're a lovely lad, aren't you, eh?
Well, here's the thing. I wasn't going to tell that story because I realised by telling it made it sound a bit self-aggrandising, and that wasn't my intention at all.
No.
That wasn't my intention
not at all.
Okay.
I'm just driving home from work now. I work for the ambulance service.
Oh.
Some of the calls from the older ladies.
Yeah.
Some of my favourite calls. They're just when you get to the end of a call, you just want to go and have a cup of tea with them and just. Yeah.
Do you get the 999 calls then?
111 and
the 111. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you finding that?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's fascinating, and you're the first port of call when something's really going wrong in someone's life, and they're coming through to you, and they're just whether it's embarrassing or upsetting or funny, they're letting you know about it, and I fell into it because I had an accident and hurt my back really badly, and I was there on the floor one morning, and they picked me up and got me operations, and I was really taken really good care of by the NHS.
Yeah.
And then after my recovery, and just long, also there's lots of drugs they gave you for everything I went through. I became opiate dependent.
Oh man!
Because of the amount of morphine they gave me.
Yeah, I bet.
I had. It got to a point where my mum came to my house, and along with my wife, pretty much just forced me to tell them where I'd been hiding all my little painkillers and morphine, and because I had little pockets of it all around the house.
Yeah.
So I thought, whatever room I'm in, if I needed a bit of morphine or a bit of something, I could get it.
Were you finding it months later because you'd forgotten all of the places?
No, a couple.
Okay, right.
Of gabapentin tucked away in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
But
how are you now around that stuff? Are you all right now?
Oh, absolutely. It took me 18 months
I bet.
to wean off the morphine patches. That's coming off 5 micrograms a week.
Wow.
And Yeah, but I'm done now. I've had my
Do you know what?
operation,
I bet that's more common than we might think, because morphine, if you've ever taken it, is pretty amazing stuff. It's incredible. I remember when I had a very minor surgical thing done, and I said to the guy, I thought I was being all responsible, saying to the surgeon, I said, look, I don't drink and I don't take drugs because I have a history of drinking and taking drugs, so can you just bear that in mind when you're giving me the painkillers? He said, well, thank you for telling me that. I will. And so he gave me some painkillers, and I don't know, I never really took, apart from temazepam, I never really took prescription painkillers. So I assumed he'd given me something, not particularly strong. And he'd given me, codidromol, is it? Cocodamol and, tramadol. Tramadol, which is a heroin substitute. And so I'm popping these pills, right, and thinking nothing of it. And then I did a bit of reading about it. It was like, tramadol, right. And so I was being really good and only taking the pills when I was in pain. And then I took 2 tramadol and I swallowed them. And I said to myself, I didn't need to take those. I took those because I wanted to get a buzz, not because I was in pain. Yeah. And so I got the packet and I gave them to my wife and I said, could you get rid of these, please? I don't even trust myself to throw these away.
It's a huge problem in the States, isn't it? Because they do prescribe sort of codeine-based things very heavily over there, and you get people to the point where they're addicted to it, to the point where they can't afford to buy it from the pharmacist anymore, and they end up, buying it in the back streets and on heroin.
No, when people talk about, getting addicted to prescription drugs, you think, that's just how, the rich and famous do that. But it's not. It's
everyone. There's potential to, little old ladies, you sound like a strapping lad. It is, that stuff is addictive.
Yeah. And as you got, and it was over about a 5-year period all this was happening. So as I got more and more used to the morphine, they would up my patches. And it would happen again and again and again. So by the time I'd finished...
And you weren't complaining either, were you? When they say, would you like us to up it? Well, only if you think so, Doctor.
I would fall asleep everywhere. I couldn't hold a conversation. I'm missing 5 years. My wife showed me a picture of me and my youngest daughter on a holiday in Cornwall. And I asked where that was, because I don't remember being there.
Oh, mate. It
was horrendous. Yes, it was.
Well done for coming out the other side, because I suspect it's more common than any of us know. So well done.
No, absolutely. No, thank you. No, but just what you mentioned there about the old ladies. That wasn't what I called in for, but I just when I get a call from the old ladies at work, some of them are a bit saucy, some of them are very strict and serious, and they must have been that time when they were young, sort of our age, middle-aged, and thinking, I've got a whole life ahead of me. I'm never going to let that happen to me. I'm never going to get old. I'm never going to... And then, it does happen. And it can be heartbreaking and upsetting.
I'm really good as well at judging. I remember doing this in front of a friend, in front of Simon, and he said, I can't believe you said that to that old woman, calling them love. I'm really good at judging, and I get it right, I would say 9 times out of 10, which ones enjoy being called love by a, quote, younger man, and those that would find it a bit patronising. You can see, you get a cheeky little twinkle in the... You're right, love. Do you want me to get a cup of tea, love? You just get a little cheeky twinkle in the eye. And, it's great. Some of the best conversations I've had with old women. Katherine.
Oh.
Steady.
Call me,
Claire, what did you call him for?
Yes, just quickly, Dub In. Did you please to play Dub In?
What?
40. You were talking about games you played when you were a kid. We used to play Dub In, but other people called it 40-40 in.
What the hell are you talking about, man? I think you're back on the drugs. What is this?
the geezer you were just talking to.
Yes.
You were talking about games you played when you were a kid. There was a game called Dub In.
No, go. How did you play Dub In?
Not Dub In.
What?
Dub In.
Dub. What's he saying, Katherine?
Dub In.
Dub In.
Yeah.
Oh, like Sky Blue.
No.
What?
Dub In.
Do it then.
Right.
Can everyone just stop saying dub in? Tell us how one plays it.
You had one person who was it.
Yes.
And you'd have a base like a coat or a cricket stub or something like that, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Cricket wicket.
That's home.
And then everyone else would go and hide.
Yes.
and then the person who was it would walk around it, and as soon as they found someone, you then race that person back to the base.
Yeah.
And if you got there before the person who's it, you said dub in, and you were safe.
From what?
And then it was, and what?
What were you safe from?
Being it.
Being it.
So he was then it?
No.
Who?
He was always it.
Who's it?
He was it from the start.
The one that got tagged.
Right.
No.
No.
If you got tagged, you were out.
Right.
You're not in. You're dubbed out.
The whole lunch break would have been taken up explaining the rules.
You're not playing, Ian.
Oh, God.
So...
Anyway, that's not even what I called about either.
This guy's doing my nutting. Go. What did you call in about?
Right. I called last Thursday.
Yes.
About your being let down by Fringe.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Now, that was my first ever call to you, and I know you explained to people that if you actually call, you will be put through.
Yes.
And I'm on when I listen to you, I think, of course you will, that's how it works.
Yes.
But then when it actually happens to you...
Yes.
I had a bit of a Brian Wilson moment.
Uh-oh.
I like when you had with him...
Yeah.
And you asked a stupid question.
Yeah, I did.
And I did... for my first call, I didn't say hip, hip, hip. I didn't ask what kind of cake.
Oh, thank Christ.
I didn't have my age guess.
No.
And I just... Can we just do it again?
He's 36 years old, man.
Oh. Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
How, what's the most you've ever been out with someone?
I don't say it. I'm writing down.
He doesn't say it unless he feels it. And
I
you
don't
obviously
say
felt
it
the
unless
vibe.
I feel it. I'm writing down an alternate age. But go on, 36.
I'll be 45 in August.
What have I written on that bit of paper?
43.
Thank you very much indeed. You see?
No.
I've written 43 down, but it's not what I said, but I've written it down. So, you know, I'm...
All right.
Anyway, Pete, I'm late for the break, Glenn.
Right, okay. Hip, hip, hip.
Yes?
What kind of cake?
Lemon drizzle.
You guess my age?
40...
What's your problem with Fringe? Why did he let you down?
It was... We haven't got time to discuss that! Unbelievable!
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Good evening, John.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Kath.
Yo, yo.
Yo, yo. I was phoning up. I was going to do a clunky gear change, but since I've been on the phone,
Yeah.
I can probably link into a couple of bits you've been talking about.
You talk about whatever you want to talk about, John. Go on.
So, that last fellow didn't explain the game very well, but we used to call it 40-40.
Right.
Here we go.
We used to have we used to live in... Oh, excuse me.
Have a good cough. Have a really good cough.
No, it's like the fog's gone. I've cleared it. It's fine. So we used to have a lamppost in our square. We used to live in all the houses used to be in around a square with a big patch of grass.
Yeah.
And someone was it. The lamppost was homey. Everyone would go and run off.
Yes.
And the person that was it used to go around and try and find who was it.
And how far away could people run away?
Go as far as you like.
Wow.
I'd go home.
Yeah. Well, I bet some people did. Yeah.
Just waited till the last person got in. So what would happen was you'd have to run, and whoever was it, if he spotted someone, they'd run back to the homie, touch it, and say 40-40. I see whoever hiding behind the whatever, and then that person, whoever was last caught, first caught would be it next turn. But if you beat the person that was it back to homie, you could either say 40-40, I save me, and then you wouldn't be it next turn, or you could say 40-40, I save all, and the person that was it originally had to be it again.
I've played this game, but completely different name.
Was it called 80-80 tit?
No, there was some sort of rhyme though. something I see, and you had to stand by the base or home or whatever it was and say this rhyme.
We never had anything as exciting as this. The only variations we had were stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
Where
you had to go
under their legs
or arm.
Yeah. Or arms. Yeah.
Or actually, we had a quick thing like the floor is lava, off ground where...
Off-ground touch, we used to call that.
What was that? If you were off-ground, you couldn't be it?
You couldn't be it, that's it, yeah.
But you could... There was like a time limit of like... You'd have to then count to 5, and if you'd have to get off the wall or whatever it was.
Or the bars or whatever it was you were hanging off of, yeah, that's it.
Here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do, and it kind of... have you read The Daft Wee Stories by Limmy, John?
No, I haven't, no.
Well, there's, in one of his books, I think it's that one, there's a story about a guy that played a game similar to what you're describing, but actually a bit more involved as a kid. And as an adult, he wants to play it again, and he organises it, and he realises actually he doesn't want to play it again. Anyway. So I'm just acknowledging that before people think I'm nicking that idea.
You're nicking it, yeah, plagiarism.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're not going to organise a five-a-side football game because I can't be bothered. But we will organise at some point over the next few weeks during the summer holidays. We will organise a late-night alternative game of had, tag, it, whatever you want to call it, the scale of which has never been seen before.
Bang up for that.
And we are going to do it. We'll do it in the daytime, somewhere in London. We will find a big space that's got places to hide in and hide
Trafalgar
under.
Square.
Oh, well, Trafalgar Square is my first thought, but then I'm thinking it's a bit tricky to hide there. I'm thinking maybe one of the parks, like Hyde Park or something. Yeah. And we have the mother of all games of tag. We'll get George Galloway down as well.
I bet he'd be up for it.
How would you decide who was it? Would you do Dip Dog Mess?
Yeah.
Or would you do Ibble Dibble Black Bubble Ibble Double Out?
Depends on how many feet you got in.
This is the thing, see, or Ippy Dippy Dation My Operation.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Do that one. God, you just twanged a string at the back of my head. Say that again.
So I was teaching my kids this the other day. So Ippy Dippy Dation, My Operation, how many people at the station? And then you count someone, whoever that landed on the station, they'd say a number, and then you count round the feet, and whoever that number landed on, they were out. They weren't it.
I remember that. Isn't that funny? I would never have come up with that in a million years. And suddenly, I'm stood in the playground of Claycott's Middle School in a circle.
With your foot in.
Yeah, as that's been done. We used our fists.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, instead of our feet, we had our fists.
Oh,
and you put one behind.
Oh, right, it was just 1 foot with us.
Yeah, well, if there weren't many people playing with us, we did 2 feet.
Yes.
But then you'd always, but then you could work. Then after a while, we realised you could fix it by just you did the maths in your head and you knew where to start. So that you do it.
We played with thick people, so you couldn't do that.
John, we're going to call it the John Memorial International Game of Tag.
Brackets, it's what he would have wanted.
Brackets, it's what he would have wanted. This is happening, John, and it's happening in your name, brother.
And you better play.
I'll be there. I'll be the first one in, my foot in. I'll be there.
John, I look forward to tagging you.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Nice one, mate. Thank you. We're doing it.
I'll be the first one caught. I'll be the one with the stitch.
Remind me tomorrow, and I'll start looking for places. I might go around on my scooter and start scouting for places so we can play it. I can't tomorrow. I've got to take my car in for a service. Hey, you know, when you're driving a 250-mile journey and the engine light comes on, and then the next day the engine light goes off, that means the car's fixed itself, yeah? And then the engine light comes on again, that means it's probably okay.
I played that game before. It turns out there was something wrong with it.
I booked it in for a service tomorrow. It's another
Probably
£400. Let's go to the Sloop John B.
Hey, how you doing, fella?
I'm doing very well, Sloop.
And I know you don't like people asking that, but I do mean that.
Thank you, brother. I'm enjoying myself tonight.
Well, good. Listen, I've got a couple of things for you, buddy. By the way, Knockdown Ginger, Primrose Hill, all the celebrities live. That would be a good laugh.
I don't want Jude Law coming out raising his fist, shouting that he knows my parents.
I used to love that game.
It'll be like, it's you from the 11 o'clock, so come back.
I have never played Knockdown Ginger. I was actually quite a good boy when I was little.
But Ian, there's a first time for everything.
I've got a feeling that encouraging a game of Knockdown Ginger amongst my listeners may go against some Ofcom regulations. I'll have to read the rule book again and find out.
Well, listen, just a little bit. Listen, I phoned in for two things. One is a suggestion and one is a recommendation, Ian. So I'll go straight to the...
They're both... Hang on, suggestions...
They both sound slightly threatening.
Well, suggestions and recommendations are the same thing, aren't they?
Oh, by the way, hello, Catherine, because no one ever says hello to you. So
I know. It's as if
I was just thinking on the last call with John that too many people are saying hello to her. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, all right. Well, I might be wrong. Listen, I was going to say, Ian, I'm going to keep it upbeat. What a show it's been tonight, and Tremadol's fantastic. I was going to say, listen, I think this is the best thing since sliced bread, mate. I think
Tramadol?
The show is fantastic. No, the show. Tremadol's good as well.
No, only if it's prescribed by a doctor or someone wearing a white coat with a stethoscope round their neck. That will do as well.
To be fair, I had it when I had my tonsils out, and I stood in the middle of King's Cross watching traffic for half an hour when I got discharged.
You've only got a minute, Sloop.
All right, listen, real quick, you need to make a documentary, man. I think it would be fantastic for your show. Absolutely
about
brilliant,
what?
Man. Get more people about your everyday life, mate. Get that going on.
I like it.
I think it would be I think honestly, I won't go into that, but it would be fantastic. You're sitting on something that's absolutely dynamite, mate, and more people need to see it. The second thing I was going to say was a recommendation to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know you like autobiographies.
Oh, I love them.
Unfortunately, he passed a couple of weeks ago. There's a rapper who was known as Prodigy.
Yeah.
And he died from sickle cell anemia. But he did a book called My Infamous Life. And if you think the Billy Idol thing was strong, my God, you're in for a treat with this book.
Sloop, I appreciate those suggestions. When you say a documentary, do you mean a video or a recording one?
I'm a massive fan of a guy called The Alchemist, and he's a producer, and he did a documentary just about his everyday life, like a day in the life and whatnot. And I've shown it to tons of people, and they've actually got into his music through it. And I was watching it today, and I thought, Ian Lee's got to do one of these.
5 seconds. Give us the name of that book again.
The Prodigy, My Infamous Life.
All right, Sloop, I'm going to investigate all of those things. 0344 499 1000. The late night alternative with me, Ian Lee.
Talk Radio.
Been a busy old show, hasn't it? Another hour to go. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative with me, Ian Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late night, Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with fire up. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Okay, we will organise a game of Tag Had It, the rules of which will be published online once we decide exactly which brand we're going to go for. And we will keep you informed, dear listener. That will be happening soon, or I may forget about it. That tends to be the way quite often. 0344 499 1000 is the... 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We really have covered everything today, from badgers, the N-word, tag,
prescription meds,
yes, addiction, car engines, and Newcastle. Been a busy old show, and there's an hour to go, baby. Spread the word, guys. I went on a forum at the weekend, not that one, another one. And someone, I think it was a guy called Chris, I can't remember, posted a very eloquent summary of the show and said, I used to like the show, but I've stopped listening because I found all the kind of mental health stuff and all. I found it, even though it touches me, I found it too much. And I replied to him. I said, thank you, Chris, for taking the time to write this. It's appreciated. Other people have made these, picked up on this, and I've picked up on it, and the fun is back! So, I'm guessing his name may not even be Chris, which would, I'll tell you what his name is. His name was Chris!
Well done.
So, Chris, I hope you're listening, and if you guys are enjoying it, for the love of all that is holy, please tell other people about this show.
We've been hammering Naked and Afraid, haven't we, recently?
Oh, God, yes!
In the best possible way. So far, our guests have been 2 male nakeds.
Yes.
Would you like a woman?
Yes!
When do you want us? You can do tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday.
Let's get her in. Let's do tomorrow.
All right.
Well, email Dean Torrance, please.
I've emailed him already.
Beautiful. And also, Anne Moses messaged me, Ian, I had so much fun in your show. I know I sent you a PDF of the book. Would you like a signed copy? And also, would you like me to come on the show again? There's so much more to say. I've replied, yes, Anne, to all of that, please. I loved her book so much. It's such a good read. And
you didn't say, "Can I please have one from my producer who works really hard?"
I didn't. I'll let you look at it.
You look at it before you snatch it back.
Here's the thing: we have had a couple of guests on. I'm not going to name names, where they've come on, and we've got in the 30-minute interview. We've had the whole book. We've had all of the stories. With this is not an exaggeration. With Anne's, we hardly touched the surface. I have never read such a frank and open and honest and unashamed account of working with pop stars in the 60s and 70s. It is brilliant. If she thinks someone is an SH1T, she tells you. What she says about Lulu, really.
She's got to the age now where she's too old for bullshine.
Oh, and I suspect, I get the feeling that she kind of was for most of it. It's such a good read. Such a good read. And it's one of those books as well, you can read it in a day, and I don't think that is in any way demeaning of the book. I think that's... honestly, I did it in pretty much a day, and I just reading it online. I hate reading stuff on my computer, but it was a joy. Absolute joy.
In the car, I'm listening to The Princess Diarists by Carrie Fisher.
Oh, lovely Carrie
We
Fisher.
missed a trick there, didn't we?
Yeah.
We should have got her on. She would have been amazing.
Yeah, she would have been... So the programme, when we went out for dinner on Saturday, I came and knocked. Kathy, ready? No, I'm not ready. Come on. We said now. No, I'm coming. I'm watching. Come on, I'm getting. So you were doing your hair and all that stuff, and the telly.
Good. By the way, good imitation of me doing my hair.
Thank you.
There.
And the telly was on, and I went, "Why is this rubbish?" Right? And it was hosted by Mel Goodroich, who I think is brilliant. I've worked with her. I think Mel and Sue... I think Mel and Sue, without a shadow of doubt... I've never seen Bake Off. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. But I think Mel and Sue are 2 of the greatest presenters we've got. And I've always thought... it's really interesting to see Sue go off and kind of become... I know Sue is now a big star on her own, but I always thought, Mel... And Mel is now hosting stuff on her own. I think she's brilliant. I think she's so funny.
Do you think they're better than Sam and Mark?
Oh, I like Sam and... I know Sam and Mark a little bit. I know them, say hello to... I like Sam and Mark. I think they're very funny. I went for a job hosting the midweek draw of the lottery, right? And I tell you I went for it. 2 reasons. 1, it's filmed just near Gerrard's Cross, which is where my mum lives. Filmed 10 minutes past my mum is where Camelot is. 2, paid £1,000 for an hour's work.
Did you know that I went for a screen test there?
Did you really?
Yeah. I was going to be the online face of the balls.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It didn't go for
and it was at Gerrard's Cross. No, I mean...
I did it, and I did the audition straight as a die. And you had to do it in the studio, and you had to do it properly, and it was all the titles, and you had Alan Dedicoat, the voice of the balls, and I did it, and I didn't get the job, right? And I said to him, I asked my agent, I said, can you get some feedback? Because I did that, and they'd asked to see me. I played it straight down the line. I was being Dermot O'Leary and Vernon Kane. They came back and they said I was too subversive.
What?
I think anyway, Sam and Mark were trying out for it as well. And I said to the producer, I said, you shouldn't give it to me, give it to Sam and Mark. I think they're brilliant. I think they were trying out. I said, I think they're brilliant. They didn't get it either.
They are good, though.
They are funny.
Kids love them. They do Junior Bake Off.
Let's get Sam and Mark on the show.
Right, let's see.
Have I got their number? I did have their... hang on a minute. A little bit of showbiz, guys. I did have their numbers. But I was always confused as to which one was... what's Sam's last name?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. What's the other one?
Mark.
What's
his name?
Mark.
Sam and Mark.
No, I've not got their numbers.
Hang on.
What's Mark's number?
Sam Nixon and Mark Rhodes.
No, I don't have their details. Let's get them on the show. I'll tweet them in a minute. We'll get them on. I like them. I think they're funny. But Mel, I think, Mel and Sue, I think, are brilliant. We've got some really good people on telly at the moment, and Mel is one of them. But the programme that she was hosting was the biggest pile of horse manure I've ever seen.
Pitch Battle.
And she was great. She was doing... that's what it's called, Pitch Battle. She was doing great. But it was the weirdest thing. So it's that choir master.
Yeah, Gareth thingy.
I mean, guys, rock choir had about 20 minutes, okay, right? But... choir masters are not cool. Right?
Oh, I like him.
No.
Yes.
Khalees, who I love Khalees. I didn't know that's what she looked like, but I love that song, Little Star, That's What You Are. And Seal. He's been kissed by a rose on a... We're all let it survive unless... Was that him?
Yes.
A little crazy... That was Adamski, though, that made that.
Adamski Killer.
Yeah. Anyway, they're on, and it's choirs. It's not even. It's like choirs, and they come out and they sing and have battles about singing, but they're not. It's rehearsed. It's rubbish.
Many years ago, when was Glee? When was Glee a thing? What, 5-6 years ago?
Oh yeah, long time
I was really into it. I really liked it, but I remember watching the first one and thinking, "This is crap. I'm never watching." Oh, hang on a minute, I get it. And then I really enjoyed it, and I used to watch it until it got crap again. But I remember thinking, this is going to be a TV programme one day. These contests they have in America, because they are slick. But then I thought, but they won't work in England because the Brits are too self-conscious and they would not go for it the way these kids do. Say kids, they were kind of professional 20-somethings, weren't they? But they're doing it. I don't believe half of that contest, right? There was supposed to be an element of, spin the wheel of chance and let's see what songs you're going to sing.
Oh, it's going to Sunshine.
They've
Sunshine.
Oh
God, we don't know any songs about Sunshine. Any songs about that? Good, because they've rehearsed it.
Yeah.
I suspect some of those people may have been miming as well, if I'm completely honest. But we do that from time to time. I remember when the movie Spellbound came out, and spelling bees were a thing. I was presenting a breakfast show on Channel 4, and we did a spelling bee, and I was just thinking, God, this is so
What does the bee stand for?
I always thought it was bee as in a buzzing bee.
Yeah, but why?
Let's see if we can work that out. We should be able to work this out. We're intelligent people. Spelling bee. What does a bee do? Buzzes. It collects pollen. It makes honey. That's a bloody good question you'll come up with there, Catherine.
Thanks.
Okay.
Because you can have a sewing bee as well.
Oh, I don't know. Is the answer to that? Don't Google it, and I know you're going to because you just look at.
I'm not. I'm actually not though.
You are though.
I'm not though.
But you are.
I am not.
And I've caught you. I caught you doing this at Simon's house on Friday. You started Googling something.
Yeah, I was Googling, how do I get back from Newcastle?
Why don't you Google what that means?
Because I know that
the
very
way
well.
you get back from Newcastle is you fall asleep in my car while I'm driving for 5.5 blooming hours.
Yeah, because you won't talk to me. Boring.
My sister's just tweeted me. And some people may find this offensive. I've never heard this in my life. But me and my sister didn't talk to each other at school. She was too cool for me.
Did she forbid you from speaking, or did you do that?
She forbade me. She says, we used to say at school, bloody in the Bible, bloody in the book. If you don't believe me, take a bloody look. What does that even mean? kids are nuts. A lot of these things go back to, like, Victorian times or the war or the plague. Loads of these things go back to those things.
What does that mean?
Sorry?
Things go back in time?
No, that's where they originate from. What's wrong? Sorry, what have I said that's dumb? You go on, tell me what have I said that's dumb.
Well, what you've said is history happened.
No, I haven't. I've said a lot
of these things go back to the war.
Yeah.
Or medieval times.
I didn't say that's the Victorian times or the plague.
Or the plague.
Yes.
When was the plague then?
But it doesn't matter when the plague is. Ring a Roses is about the plague. Oh, Boyley's just been hoisted by her own petard.
I've not been hoisted by my own petard.
I said a lot of these kids' things go back to the war.
You didn't say kids' things. A lot of things go back, you said.
We were just talking about things you say in the playground. It's not just, there's a full stop, now we finished, new subject. A lot of things
things happened, didn't they?
I was talking about things hang on a minute. Pablo?
You didn't get it.
Pablo?
Hip, hip, hip.
You got that I was talking about kids' things in the playground, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you very much
You
indeed.
You absolute suck up.
He got it because he pays attention. He's not thinking about getting tongs for the hair. He hasn't got any hair.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
We met Pablo at the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
We'll come to him after the break.
Yeah.
He had he can't hear me now. I don't.
He shaved his head special.
You can't hear me, can you, Pablo?
No, not at all.
There we go, great.
Yeah, he shaved his head special.
He had he phones in a lot. He looked a lot more mad than I was expecting. Proper eyes of a killer. Do you know what I mean? Even you said it yourself.
I never said that.
We came out and I said, "Did you see Pablo's eyes?" You went, "Yeah, eyes of a killer."
I never said that.
Yes, you did!
I said...
Yes, you don't even give me that. Don't even give me that. Pablo, we'll come to you in a minute. Please don't hurt me. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Paul, what do you want?
Okay, I happen to know what spelling bee means.
That's excellent stuff. Well done. But don't show off. Yes, Pablo.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Habs.
So, are we hearing what the origin of the sewing bee is?
Oh, no, I cut him off.
Oh, good. Excellent show last night at the stand. Very good.
Hey, thanks very much for coming. It was nice to meet you. It was nice to meet everybody. Kath and I came the first half. We thought, God, this is
seemed really quiet.
Tough crowd, flat, and I'd use up all my talking points. I have a few talking points, but the second one picked up. People seemed to enjoy it. It was a nice little turnout. So thank you for coming, Pablo. Nice to meet you at last.
No, it was a pleasure. And I would like to say it's more like calm limpet pools.
Sorry?
Rather than the cold dead eyes of the killer.
Well, actually, but Kath has corrected me on what was said.
Yeah.
I said, did you see Pablo's eyes? He looked like a killer. And you said...
Nah, more of a nut job.
There we go, you see. That was the conversation that was...
Well, I could be both.
Yeah, exactly! Could be
multitasking.
Well, at least that's what I'm going to plea when they finally get me to court, anyway.
You were shorter than I imagined.
Well, no, you're just really tall.
No, I know, but I've been tall all of my life, so my height perception is and height guesstimation is pretty spot on. But you I mean, what, you 5'8"? I'm 5'11", 6 on a good day. All right, mate. Yeah.
So, Pabs, what did you think of Ian? He's taken you apart.
Gangly, could have possibly shaved for the appearance.
Thank you. Grown a beard again. Thank you.
But yeah, no, it's all good. I appreciate a t-shirt. He dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah, I wore a Zombies t-shirt. That I'm happy to do. Kath tried to make an effort, but
I had the wrong bra on. I had to do some Blue Peter job.
There we
mine.
go. You see.
So below the glamour, there was some sticky back plastic.
Well, of course, I don't know if Kath looked lovely.
All right, mate. This is just all right.
Thanks
guys.
very much. I appreciate the of course.
All right, guys. Let's just get to the point of this call, Pablo.
Well, 2 points. One, whilst I've just been on hold, have you watched any of Taskmaster on Dave?
I don't really watch TV, and I certainly don't watch, as Catherine will tell you, I find it very difficult to watch people who I have worked with or know people who've worked with,
or any way might have a slight beard.
I find it really difficult to watch
anyone
white British comedy actors, presenters, performers in their mid to late 40s on television without going, he's a tosser. Yeah, well, that should be me. I used to work with him. I just can't do it. I'm so full of bitterness and resentment.
But you recognise that's what it is, and you know that it's.
Oh yeah.
The same reason I ended up sitting underneath a portrait of Lauren Laverne yesterday and seething.
She's your nemesis.
She is, but I'm sure she's nice, and we probably get on.
She was once very rude to me on a train. So,
was she?
Good. No, I will not. I will not have a bad word said against Double L because I've worked with her and she is one of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet.
But she's stolen my life.
It's a shame she's not in radio production because I would totally approach her and see if we could get some kind of deal going where she would produce me.
Well, to be fair to her, she was being greeted by the cold dead eyes of a killer or a potential madman. So that'll turn anybody rude.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Mel Gibbsridge, or however you pronounce it, was on the most recent series of Taskmaster.
Okay.
And it was quite interesting because Noel Fielding was on it as well.
Okay.
And obviously it was the interim period between bake-offs.
Yes.
So that was quite an interesting.
Okay, little handing over of the baton.
Yeah, but she was very good in that.
Yeah, she's excellent. She's excellent. She's one of the funniest people I've ever worked with.
What was best about her is every one of they get a task written on a scroll with a bit of wax on it.
Yes.
And every little bit of wax she saved and put in her pocket to take home for whatever task she wanted to do with it at home.
Okay.
Which was endearing.
Waxing.
Yep.
Oh yes, and we didn't get the Q&A section last night. So.
Oh no, the only reason I said we're going to do a Q&A section is because I thought this is a really tough crowd and I've used up all of my talking points. So I better pretend
that there's a plan.
That there's a plan, yeah. So we didn't need it in the end. We were saved by Tony Robinson.
I don't know if you noticed by Tony Robinson that he was actually calling from a car park in Nottingham.
Yeah.
So, like, the Sheriff of Nottingham, the old Maid Marian's connection there. I just found that interesting at the time. Okay. No, but you mentioned the
I'm losing the will to live with this phone call, Pablo.
Sorry.
What the hell is going on?
Well, I was a little bit worse for wear this morning.
There we go. Well, I think you need to go and have some Alka-Seltzer, young man. Have some Alka-Seltzer, for goodness sakes. I got the hippie shakes. It's in the bag. Whoa! Here's the thing. Hippie shakes, right? What's that about? It's before hippies. It's before hippies. So he means like he's shaking in his hips, his hippies. He's calling his hips his hippies. I've just worked that out as I've just deconstructed the song Hippie Shake by the Swinging Blue Jeans. Swinging Blue Jeans. It's in the bag. Whoa, the hippie shake it to the left. You shake it to the right. You do the hippie shake with all of your mind. Whoa, baby.
It's a good dancing song.
It's a great dancing song. It's a great dancing song, but it's confusing because it comes from the 60s and it mentions the word hippies. And so you think it is about peace and love, man. Pass the reefer. It's not. It's about hips. It's about actual hips.
Those crazy bones.
How accurate is them bones,
Not.
them bones? Is it not?
I don't think it'd get you through medical school.
Hey, I've got a test tomorrow and I was kind of
Nope.
banking on that. Hey, this is brilliant and I've heard it. Absolutely brilliant. It's a mate of mine this has happened to and I was really thrilled and I know that he's been stressed about it. It's been going on for a while, right? It's been going on for quite a while. But I've kind of said to him, he's phoned me up a couple of Watco, Ian Watkins, who's a presenter on Mansfield 103. It's a cracking little station up in Mansfield.
And he loves it.
He loves it and he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. And anyway, and he was worried because someone is hijacking the airwaves there and playing a very rude song over the airwaves. And he told me about it and I kind of said to him, right, and I was never going to talk about it on air, but it's in the papers. So, I feel that we can talk about it. And I said, right, can you stop this person doing it? And he said, we don't know how they're doing it. I said, right, well, fine. Once you know, all you can do is make sure you've checked everything in the studio to make, if it happens again, all you can do is go on and apologise. Because obviously it's a small
But
station.
they don't know it's happening, do they?
Well, no, but people will know because they will be listening to it and they can phone in. But it's a small station, so if they had an Ofcom upheld, it would be a huge thing. It'd be a big-ish thing for us, but it'd be a huge thing to them. But Ofcom, everyone's they're the regulation body of the radio, and people go, Ofcom are the fairest thing. I've never had an Ofcom upheld because I know the rules. And we get people that keep making complaints. Oh, let's leave it. And it's just wasting their time because Ofcom know me and they know my show and they know this show was a bit rude. Anyway, let me read this. Radio Ha-Ha. Buff hijacking airwaves to blare out rude song. A radio pirate... and this takes a bit of ingenuity. A radio pirate regularly hijacks a local station's airwaves to play a track with the chorus, I'm a winker, the Ivor Biggin song, Doc Cox from That's Life. The Buff, using a transmitter. Now here's the thing, right, radio people listening to this, how does this work? Because if I'm honest, right, if I had this technology... I'd be outside Capital every day, I mean, Capital have probably got a stronger thing, but I would be outside... Where?
LBC.
Yeah.
I can think of some tunes.
The Buff, using a transmitter, has done it 12 times in 3 months as he blares out the 70s novelty hit, The Winkers song. It's Mansfield 103, and I hope that this gets them more listeners, because I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. In fact, it's so brilliant that if I didn't know the people that work there better, I'd think, someone's planned this from within. But I know them, and I know they haven't. The most recent of the attacks, usually heard by up to 250,000 listeners... Guys, really? Where'd you get those stats from? Came yesterday during a live broadcast from a music gig. A source said yesterday they wait for inappropriate moments during live interviews... then ruin the broadcast with this song. They use a much more powerful transmitter than the stations, basically overpowering it.
Gosh.
I'd love to own this technology. I've heard a rumour that it's someone on a moped, because apparently the mopeds have been seen, a moped has been seen shooting off. They use
Where were you on the night in question?
DJs are terrified that at any point they can be hijacked, but we're powerless until the person switches off their equipment. Some people think it's hysterical, but kids are also listening to this stuff, which isn't great. The song includes the lines, I'm a winker. I nearly said it then, so I do apologise. I'm a winker. It does me good like a bloody well should. I'm a winker, and I'm always pulling my pud.
God!
It was a 1978 hit, top 30 hit for Ivor Biggin, later known as Doc Cox on Esther Ranson's BBC One. I remember that song getting passed around at school at the age of about 13, 14. Regulator Ofcom has even sent a radio van with investigators in a failed bid to intercept the rogue signals at Mansfield 103.2 in Nottinghamshire. Station staff last week saw, a moped rider behaving oddly outside with what seemed to be a radio aerial coming from his backpack. He fled when approached. I do hope that Mansfield 103.2 or us give this guy a job when we find out who it is. Let's give this guy a job. Boss Tony Delahunty told The Sun last night, we're really keen to find this person. They are ruining the fun for a lot of people and offending lots of listeners too. My message to him is, and here we go, here's the message that really is going to make this guy stop. You've had your fun, now stop. Now, come on,
That's
Tony. I met Tony. He's a nice fella, right? But you've had your fun, now stop. Come on. We are prepared to do all that's necessary to bring you to justice. It's not illegal to own a transmitter, but malicious use can fetch a £5,000 fine, 2 years in jail. Wow. I think it's brilliant. I think it's naughty. And I hope that more people tune in, because it's a cracking little station, actually. I did a show on there. I did we called it Ian Lee's Christmas Balloon about... When was that, Watco? About 5 years, more than 5 years ago.
Christmas Balloon?
8 years ago. Oh, the joke, the title was, Watco said, what do you want to call it? Christmas Balloon. And it's good, and they've got some good stuff on there. So I hope this works in their favour. They won't get an Ofcom upheld against them, which is what they're worrying about, because they're doing everything they can to stop it. And Ofcom is a very fair regulator. 0344 499 1000. All coming up before the end of the show. We'll have our postcard from Newcastle.
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Yes, you will hear a little postcard, a little snippet of us driving around Newcastle.
And squabbling.
Squabbling in Newcastle. Paul keeps emailing us facts, right, that he thinks no one knows, right? Yeah, so I'm finally off after this. Sent me loads of emails I've ignored. But do you know, Katherine? I happen to know from back of my crazy brain. I remember. No, I've not Googled. Lauren Laverne started out in a girl indie rock band. Yeah, I know, called Kaniki. The album was called At the Club, and it's a brilliant album. And there's about half a dozen good songs on there that stand the time, including PVC. PVC. What was Kaniki's hit? I liked Kaniki.
I thought she was in something called Mint Royale as well. Is that wrong?
Listen to... Oh, this is the Kaniki hit. Listen to this. Oh, this is a great album. Oh! Yes! Dancing lipstick and drinking champagne. Remember this?
Nope.
She's dancing home. She is taking cocaine.
You don't remember this?
No.
All right, how about this?
Now it's all gone wrong. Brother John can't taste it come. Onto one of his ninjas. 'Cause I am the best. Don't you ever dare to forget. Get up your knees, I believe it. I think that everyone looks better when they're sad. It's okay to be sad. It's up to you.
All right, how about this?
Has Dermot got a single we could play?
Who?
Dermot.
Dermot O'Leary?
Yeah.
No.
Pity.
You trying to have a pop at me? I see what you're doing.
Well, you're ramming this one home, aren't you?
What was this? Whoa!
Tell us exactly. I said, you've got a gift. I can tell by looking.
It's a good album, actually. I like that.
Did Vernon Kay do a song?
I think he might have done, actually. Where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with that. Can't remember. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You know, I got the boot from the BBC for standing up for my gay brothers and sisters.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Remember that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. There are some people there whose names keep popping up. Remember Nick Conrad?
Yes.
He suggested that in a phone-in that sometimes women got raped and it's probably their fault.
They should keep their knickers on.
Yeah. I also know something else about Mr. Conrad, which I will not divulge on air. But he quite vociferously challenged people. The real-life Alan Partridge. BBC Norfolk DJ stole rivals' gig posters in a petty feud.
What?
Featuring a local radio presenter, petty grudges and a Norwich backdrop, it has all the makings of a storyline about Alan Partridge. BBC Radio Norfolk DJ Nick Conrad was just about to begin his breakfast show when police took him off to quiz him about allegedly stealing concert posters after a feud with a rival. The 32-year-old DJ and events... This guy had the world at his feet. He did shows on LBC. He was at WM. I replaced him at WM. You know something's not going right for someone when you do a cover shift for someone and you say to the boss, just to let you know, I really enjoyed that. If that guy ever leaves, I would happily come and do it. 2 weeks later, you're doing that slot.
Oh, dear.
The 32-year-old DJ and events organiser Ollie George, 30, are both promoting outdoor concerts just a week apart at Stately Homes near Norwich, and became embroiled in a poster war, plastering their own signs on top of the others. The squabble escalated to such an extent that Mr. George accused Mr. Conrad of stealing his posters and called in police, who then accused him of wasting police time. Mr. Conrad has been advertising 2 events at Cromer Hall with the British Symphony Orchestra on the first weekend in August, while Mr. George is organising events the weekend before at nearby Taverham Hall, including a concert by Jules Holland. It came to a head when Mr. Conrad found Mr. George's signs on top of his Cromer Hall ones in the town of Cromer itself and allegedly ripped them down. After Mr. George reported him to police for theft, officers turned up at the station to quiz him and allegedly found Mr. George's signs in the boot of his car.
In the boot of whose car?
Mr. Conrad's car.
Oh, God.
The incident
Criminal genius.
made the DJ 10 minutes late for his show and the BBC had to find a stand-in. According to sources, the married father only removed the signs because he knew they were put up without necessary permission. Mr. Conrad was not arrested and no charges were brought against him.
He was upholding the law, was he?
Meanwhile, officers gave the other guy, Mr. George, a stern telling off. A Force spokesman said police inquiries found no basis to the allegation of theft and no criminal offences were identified. The informant has been given the strongest possible words of advice.
With the words of advice, grow up.
The DJ, Mr. Conrad, was allegedly dropped for subsequent events with this company after he made controversial comments on air while discussing Ched Evans, the footballer convicted of rape in 2014. He said, quotes, "Women have to understand when a man gives certain signals, he'll wish to act upon them. And if you don't wish to give out the wrong signals, it's best to keep your knickers on." All I did was say that people that had a go, that thought gays were sinners, were bigots. That's all I did. I didn't talk about women wearing knickers. Mr. Conrad, who apologised for the comment, faced an Ofcom investigation but was cleared, so was I. There we go. It's a funny old world, isn't it?
Gosh, guys, really. Why can't they just do one big concert together?
I know, guys, please!
We just want the music.
We just want the good vibes, don't we? I was going to talk about BBC Local Radio, but there's no point, is there? There is no point. There is no point. I'm just going to say, there's enough negativity in the world. I don't need to add to it, do I?
We do enjoy listening to it on our travels.
Isn't it, though? Oh, I was going to... Oh, look, I haven't got time now. Graduates can't cope with office life, says bosses. I was going to do that. Then I was going to do no time to cook, sew or have a lie-in. It's motherhood in 2017. Things modern mums don't have time for. Having a spring clean.
What's in this? Is this in the Daily Mail?
Yes.
Okay.
Darning socks.
Yeah.
Cooking evening meals from scratch.
Who's written this? A woman?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Ironing bed linen. Who irons bed linen?
Well,
I like it when it's done.
If I was having guests over, they would get ironed bed linen. But everyone else can lump it.
I mean, I like it when it's done, but I can't be bothered to do it.
I have to be feeling very energetic for that to happen.
I don't even iron things anymore. Oh, really? Couldn't tell. I'll save you the bother because you were going to say it.
I never said that.
You were going to say it.
I wasn't.
You was.
Don't you speak for me. But
I would never dream to... Has a bloke ever, when you've gone for a meal with a bloke, right, has the bloke ever said, I will have the carbonara and for the lady, she'll have the sea bass. Has a bloke ever ordered for you?
You've known me for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I know that if we were in a restaurant and chips were on the menu, and the lady will have double chips. do you do cheese on top? So, yeah.
No.
I tell you, we'll have a break in it, and we're going to play a little postcard that we recorded. You're going to hear us having oysters for the first time ever. Neither of us had oysters, and we were by the beach, and it was a lovely day, and you're going to hear us have oysters. It has to be said, right, it's the most disappointing thing I've ever had. And we had it with fancy dressings. We had to ask 5 times for the fancy. You want classic? No. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll tell you what you're about to hear.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So anyway, we had a lovely time in Newcastle. We were made to feel very welcome. We went to Simon's house and did the show from Simon's house on Friday. And on Sunday, we were guests at the Stand Comedy Club, which is a mighty place and does amazing roast dinners. And it was a joy to meet all of you and everybody who came down. On the Saturday, we had a day free. And we decided to go on like a little tour of the surrounding areas. And I'd seen a sign that said coastal route about 45 minutes away. So instead of Googling where should we go, we just drove, like idiots. And we didn't find anything for absolutely ages. So please sit back and enjoy Kath and Ian's postcard from Newcastle. Okay. We have had a very eventful day. It's Saturday afternoon. It's 10 to 4. The hotel we had originally stayed in, our rooms were disgusting and my shower was filthy. What was wrong with your room?
Well, you know when you lie down on the pillow and you feel like maybe you're not the first person who's put their face on it?
Yeah.
That.
Well, and you're hoping it's the face. And also, I'm always wary of brown sheets. So we kicked up a stink and we left in a huff. So then we checked in. Then I booked us a hotel online.
Based entirely on what the rooms look like, right?
Yeah, and the rooms look wicked. But then we got there, and listen, I grew up on a council estate, so this isn't a dig, but the hotel is slap bang in a council estate, and it looks like an old community centre.
No, it looks like an old people's home.
It really does look run down. Anyway, we've paid. I asked and we couldn't get a refund. So then we're like, we're near. What's wrong?
Creepy thing in someone's garden.
Well done. You've really painted a picture there for the listeners. So then
you didn't let me stop to look.
Yeah. So then we're like, well, we're near the sea. It's a lovely, beautiful, sunny day. Let's go to the beach. So we spent 2 hours driving, trying to find the beach. And then, well, you tell the dear listener what happened.
We wanted chips, so we found this cafe. Guess what? They sold virtually everything apart from chips.
And the food that we have eaten has poisoned us.
I think it might have. Yeah, pulled pork. Pulled from what?
Well, I think they might have pulled the pork off anyway. So it's now 10 to 4.
We also had delicious ice creams.
Let's save that. Let's save the ice cream story for later because I'm still fuming about that. But basically, you bought 2 ice creams that I could eat neither of them. So listen, I don't want to dwell on the negative. So we spent all day driving around in the car and arguing. But then I looked online, which is perhaps what I should have done initially, and I found Tynemouth.
Yes, you did.
And we have driven to it, and it looks brilliant.
So far, it would appear there is nothing wrong with this place, but surely that can't be so.
Let's have a look around. Oh, look, there's camper vans. All right, fair enough. We parked a little bit out of town because I'm too tight to pay for parking. Taking us 15 minutes to walk into town, and then we've got there, and Kath's dropped the bombshell
that I haven't got my purse, but I paid for the last thing, so I thought it was your turn anyway.
Yeah, I've done all the driving, so got to walk back 15 minutes to get my wallet, and then walk back another 15 minutes.
Call it 2 ice creams.
Feel like a punch in the nose. Well, we got here just in time to see the market closing. I got very excited because there were lots of old computer games, Spectrums in their boxes, Ataris, things like that, but everyone was packing up. And now we're in the middle of Tynemouth, and there's just loads of camper vans and stuff. I don't really know what's going on. One bit of good news is I've lost Boyley. I'm on my own. I'm freestyling. And it's much more peaceful without her. Someone with a microphone over here talking loudly. Let's be honest, being annoying. You'll be disappointed to know that I've found Katherine again.
I was just looking at stuff.
What's going on here?
Boris Johnson embraces.
Taking a picture of the kids. Looking at they're in prison down here, which is great. Good image. Great. Okay, good. So, as you can see, preparing ourselves here.
What are they going to do? Magic?
Put a bit of warm.
Or singing.
Good idea.
I could see an instrument.
They're annoying me, so let's move on. Let's move on.
So yes, we're going to begin by welcoming the next act on to build up a nice crowd. Just come in. Ladies on the phone down here. Who are you talking to? Who is it? Can I talk to them? Who is it?
More noise. Is this here every day, or is this a special day?
I think this is special day fun times.
Is this like a fete or something?
In many ways, yes.
It's too many people.
Well, you Googled this, right?
Well, I mean, Googled it. Kind of, very loosely. What the hell is going on here? Oh, it's people doing theatre in the street. Mime. All we need is mime. Oh, God. Excuse me, not interested in mime. Come on, out the way. Say that again?
So there's a lot of coppers here. Are they expecting it to kick off soon?
Well, they're so busy. This must be like a festival or something going on. Look, there's a band playing. There's thousands of people. And we just think we spent the entire day arguing in my car because you're an idiot.
When we could have been out here...
I'm just going to stop recording now.
What?
Sorry?
You've got a £1 coin. Otherwise I'm going to have to break at 20 for chips.
Well, I have, but... Well, so I'm paying for it, am I?
For some of your own chips.
We'll just get one portion of chips between us.
All right, then when you...
I'm not going to be able to eat...
£1 back then.
Flipping heck. You're like that waiter.
With the missing £1.
I just don't get it. But also... That guy is a dishonest waiter. They should have sacked him.
He has not got the authority to be making decisions like that, has he, without telling the customer? That's fraud.
What a git.
You can ask. You're asking.
Can we just get some chips, please?
What's that, yeah?
Just one portion of chips.
One portion?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dom.
This is what we came for. This is what it's all about.
Chips.
This, to quote the theme tune to Auf Wiedersehen, Pet, this is living all right now. Yeah? Thank you very much. Chips. Better get a big portion. Large portions. A lot of people carrying beer, including yourself.
No, I'm not carrying beer.
You're carrying 2 pints of beer, and you know I don't drink, so they are for you. Listen, and that's after drinking several double G&Ts.
I've got to have something to numb the pain of being with you 24/7.
Can I just say, guys,
well,
please...
24/2.
What? No, it's not even 24. 24 means all day.
Yeah. Oh, no. 8, 1.5.
You see... Please drink responsibly, because your basic math skills will go... We're being served. Your basic math skills will come an absolute cropper.
Can you add 2 and 1?
She's sticking her fingers up at me, but still not spilling a pint. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. Get some vinegar on those. Those aren't yours. We're going to go... We have come to the beach.
Yeah.
More on that later. And those chips weren't very satisfying.
No, or big.
But then we've seen an oyster bar.
Right, so...
I've never had oysters.
No, and I was attracted by the word bar, so together, this could be an adventure.
Oh, they're queuing for the toilet. All right, we were in the toilet queue there. This is the oyster queue. Okay, we could be joining that queue shortly after this.
Yeah, probably.
But we were queuing in the toilet queue. Look at these. It's just meaty rock, yeah?
I have no idea. I think it's probably going to taste like bogies.
So, all right, lovely. We'll wait. I think we've been queuing in the wrong place for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we get 4 oysters, please? Glass of white wine, and I'll get a lemonade.
For this,
oh, wait.
Please. The only alcohol we have is gin and tonic.
Oh, jeez.
That's fine, yeah. Thank you.
Can I get a lemonade? Thank you.
Very strict. This is going to be great.
Very strict rules. You sure you don't want a load of gin?
Oh, that'll just make me maudlin. You don't want that.
Well, we've just had our first oysters ever. A little bit disappointing.
Well, some people go out for oysters, don't they? And it's a big treat, and they'll go looking for the finest, and it's... I mean...
They're sea bogies.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, it's less of a... It's basically a bush tucker trial, isn't it?
I'm glad we didn't go for the classic. I'm glad we went for a flavoured one, because otherwise it would have just tasted of nothing.
Yeah, did you give it a lick when it was going on the way down?
Sorry?
Oh, but did you actually swill it? Or...
I chewed it.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
And how was that?
I don't get it.
No.
Phil, I don't get it.
I didn't chew mine. I gave it a little tickle as it went down, but I didn't...
Are we talking about oysters still?
Yes.
Okay. Let's listen to these girls singing. Well, that is magnificent. We've got a castle, ruins of a castle to the right. We're in a lovely little cove, and you can just see the sea stretching out for miles.
Is that a ferry, or is that a tanker ship?
That's a container ship containing probably spices from far off countries. Spices such as saffron, cinnamon, and origami. But I like to look at the sea, and really just makes me feel alive, makes me feel human, makes me ponder the great mysteries of life.
Makes me want a wee. Can we go?
Let's just enjoy the moment, please. It's quite boring. Should we go and see what's on telly?
Yeah.
Talk Radio. Dial up some dialogue.
Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.